Coming to get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell.
Well, here I am. Where's everybody else? Oh my God, I can hear you, but I can't see you. Hold on.
We're haunting you.
Oh, no.
What's going on here?
The voices.
There we are.
There we go.
Ah, we're seen.
Matt's
like,
still
oh my
on
God.
here?
I know. I was waiting. I don't know what happened to Matt. You see, I'm gonna try to text him. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to
Howdy,
the
howdy.
Good evening.
Document of the Dead fan commentary. And Matt's supposed to be joining us at some point. He was here a second ago, and then he just dropped off. I got a
By the way,
message
that
from-
Document of the Dead shirt, the merch that you're advertising, that's amazing. I've got to get that before the show, before the Living Dead weekend for sure. But well done
sir.
on that.
Yeah, I got that up today. It's 40% off right now.
Oh,
That off
I was
Romero
gonna
store,
say I
so-
haven't seen that before. So well done.
I was like, I would love to have one of those, which is usually the way I go about figuring out what kind of shit I want to make. It's like, man, I've never seen a Document of the Dead shirt of any type.
Oh,
So I was
yeah.
like, I got to make one of those. So yes, available now at your local shop.alpharomero store location. So, but what's going on, guys? I guess while we're waiting on Matt, we'll get everybody introduced. Over here to my left, your right, is Michelle Parsons.
Hello.
What's going on? Here to put another curse on the show, on the channel. But I will be much kinder to this movie tonight than I was to Blood-Sucking Pharaohs in Pittsburgh. So we'll not talk about that movie tonight, just to be safe. We'll just keep it to Document of the Dead. But how you been, Michelle? You're not on call tonight,
good.
so
I'm not. I made somebody else take it, but yeah, I would have
there you
been.
go.
I was
That's
up.
what you got
Yeah,
to do.
I've been on call all week, getting ready for Living Dead weekend. Good times.
Oh, hang on. I see.
Landrum coming.
There he is.
Landrum's back.
Hello.
What happened?
There he is.
There we are.
Shit. God damn. So
Mike
I've
kicked you
got like one of those multi-port, what do you call them, power banks or whatever, connected to my MacBook that I plug everything into, and I forgot to plug the power up to it to charge everything. So I plugged it up, but then everything went fucking haywire and decided to shut down on me. So my apologies. I'm back. Hopefully my camera will keep enough charge to last through this. I'm sure it will, but my apologies. Sorry.
Maybe look at this. We didn't even get started in the technical
God
difficulties
damn.
already started. Michelle,
Let's
I swear
blame
to
the
God.
blood-sucking pharaohs of Pittsburgh.
Yes, we were talking
it's the
about
Macbeth
it. We
of the
jinxed
show,
it.
I swear.
We mentioned it, and it's my fault. I started talking shit about it, and then all hell broke loose.
I told you.
My apologies. But Matt, how are you, man? Are you good? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good now. Thanks a lot. No, everything's yeah. Everything's great, dude. I'm stoked to be on here with you guys, hanging out tonight. I'm ready to watch this. This is one of my favorite documentaries ever, obviously.
Same.
But more importantly, I'm looking forward to chopping it up with you guys before Living Dead weekend in a couple of weeks. So
Yeah.
super excited, man. This is my favorite time of year. No, not Christmas, not Halloween, fucking June. This is my favorite time of year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
It's coming up so fast too. It's like
It did really sneak up. If
It really
it was like,
does.
oh, it's time to. I haven't even booked my hotel yet. I really have screwed up,
Ooh.
actually. Yeah, I got
Red
my.
Roof Inn. Here we come.
I know. I think I'm gonna do an Airbnb or something. Oh yeah, is that where you guys are gonna be? Anyway, I don't know. I was looking. I need to
Hell
figure
no.
it out. But
I've stayed at that Red Roof before, and it's it's fine if you just need a place to like sleep and then quickly get out of there as quickly as possible. But if you're staying for multiple days, I wouldn't recommend doing that.
no,
It's
I haven't experienced it. Not yet.
Paul
but-
stayed there. He just went out and bought a whole set of linens and took them off the bed and replaced it with his own. It's pretty smart when you think about it.
Good idea.
Yeah, Paul just completely redid the room, put new sheets on the bed, painted the walls, recarpeted, and was just like, okay, I feel safe. I can sleep here now. Ed, what's going on, man? It's been a while since I've had you on. Glad to get you back on here for another commentary. What you been up to, my man?
Life, man, life.
I hope so. I hope so. The alternative is death. So so let's not do that.
Yeah, things been going okay around here. Just this and that and the other popping up. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I saw you doing some commentaries. You're on. I caught your the burning commentary. Or no, it wasn't the burning.
Yeah.
It was the Prowler.
Prowler,
Prowler commentary. That was pretty fun. Then you did a UHF commentary too. I went back and watched after the fact. I love UHF, dude. That's one of my all-time favorite fucking movies.
I'm gonna do more of those coming up and try to figure out what movies have not been done yet. I don't want to do anything that you're going to do, obviously. So
Well, I was
movies have not been
curious.
done yet. Back and
Did you
forth.
get any kind of like copyright anything doing it the way you did it? Because the way you did it is kind of genius. The way that you just kind of set up your camera and pointed it at your TV as you were sitting in front of your TV doing the commentary. Did you get any kind of like?
Okay, I did one for Real Genius, the Val Kilmer movie, and that was flagged. The other movies, no problem.
Okay,
Wow.
so it just depends on the movie, I guess. I was like, that's kind of genius. I was thinking about just doing that. Like, would the algorithm pick up on that? And I guess it does actually. If you
We keep the volume down enough, that helps a lot.
Yeah. That seems to be the most important thing. It's not about what's showing; it's about what's playing, the volume.
Yes, that's a big part of it right there.
And I was like, damn, Ed figured it out. This is genius. This is the way we should always do this stuff. And then Eric Walter, what's going on, man? You got some shit coming up that you're working on?
I have so many things. I'm like, it's you know me. There's always something happening, but no, I'm actually working on a narrative project right now, a short that I just shot like 2 weeks ago here in Maryland, and was all on a boat. And it's been a while since I've done a scripted project, so it's in the horror space. So I'm looking forward to rolling that out here soon. And went extremely well. Was a lot of logistics, and just working on the water is always difficult. So it was on an old crabbing boat, and we shot. We had like multiple cameras and limited crew because it's on a boat, and it was a lot of fun. And other than that, I'm just editing my brains out. Pretty much, I've been working on that all day today, and then I'm
So is it like a
midnight oil working for my job? Working on stuff. So it's just I'm always here plugged in, basically.
Is it like a horror version or a horror take on Knife in the Water? Polanski's Knife in the Water?
But it is.
The whole thing just takes place on a boat. It's very,
No, but
confined.
you'll probably dig it. I don't know how you feel about it's kind of like a Twilight Zone, Tales from the Dark Side influenced, definitely aesthetically influenced. Like it's gonna have a gritty. You know how I did with that LDW video I did. I had that filmic feel. So it's definitely gonna have that sort of old school 70s vintage color feel and all of that. So
Technicolor.
Yeah. In Technicolor, yeah.
Yeah,
but
we need to bring
cool.
back Technicolor. We need to bring back movies that look like that. No, that would make me happy. I watched because everything just looks the same now, like the color grading and stuff. Like I watched for last night's stream, we did the Remorgue magazine that covered the Evil Dead remake, and I'd never seen the Evil Dead remake because I never cared. But because we were talking about it, I was like, well, I guess I got to see this movie now. So I went back and rewatched it, and I was just like, man, this is just like the most ugly, depressing looking movie I've ever seen. Like it's just everything is just like bland, tonally just blah, and I'm just like, ugh. Give me,
it's
bring
the Netflix
back Technicolor
effect.
horror.
I think I probably told you last time I was on with you.
Yeah,
it's just and not to, because sometimes it works, right? But I don't know. I try not to talk around these like this, like with the people I work with, because they look at me like they don't completely understand. But we all know what we're talking about here in terms of what we prefer. But yeah, I just love film. I love actual motion picture film, right? You can still do it on digital, and get those same results. But I've got a buddy who that's all he does is film, like 1635. He does not shoot video at all. So I'm looking for the right project to bring him in on. It's just, it's got to make sense for the budget because it's expensive to shoot on film. And
so I was gonna say, do they even have like laboratories that develop?
Still
do 16. Okay.
When I moved from the West Coast to the East Coast almost 2 years ago, my sister flew out. She lives overseas, and she flew out to California, and we just got in the truck and drove across the country, and I shot everything on Super 8, like the entire trip. and it was I took like 12 rolls of film and just committed to silent film. I also had my wedding shot on 16 millimeter.
That's cool.
So
Though.
I'm the
That's
kind of
really
wild.
That's awesome. That's
I was
awesome.
like, and it was totally silent, So
Yeah.
but no, I love.
Well, let me,
love that.
Eric. Let me ask you. What do you? So you shoot digital mostly?
I mean, yeah, but with the inspiration of not just George, but also with just traditional sort of, I would call it, like I said, 70s sort of vintage aesthetic. Like I like using like vintage lenses, and I like going in the color grading process and giving things sort of a vintage feel. Not too heavy handed, but grain, adding grain and that type of thing. It's called film emulation, basically. But
what program do you use to edit your footage?
A lot of the stuff I work on for my job, we're all in sort of either Avid or Premiere Pro, and my stuff here right now, I've sort of kind of fully gotten into DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah, that's what I've been using is DaVinci. That's what I was hoping you were going to say. How do you feel about the color grading?
I love it. Well, I'm sort of in the Blackmagic universe now. Like I own 2 Pixis bodies and like a whole bunch. I have a fleet of basically Blackmagic cameras here because they're budget friendly, but they also just not to get too technical, but the codec and the footage that they produce is gorgeous. So I've been it's just been, I like to work with them, and it's it's in their workflow. So Resolve is awesome. So but it's great to be sharp in all 3 leading programs basically,
Right.
But Resolve just updated, they just released a few weeks ago some updates to that program, and man, they're killing Adobe like 10 times over in terms of what they're offering. But some of what they're offering is also really scary. I don't want to take this.
No, well, that's what I was going to ask you is, let's talk about AI, because I think I remember catching your stream with
oh
Mike
man, I was to say, of course, like 5 minutes into this, and we're talking about AI.
Hey, dude, listen, we have to talk about it. This is something that's on the table that has to be discussed.
The enemy is always there snapping at your heels.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, it's like a tool. It's a tool, right? And it's like part of the world now. Unfortunately, I wouldn't chalk me up to being a fan. However, I don't think everything is evil. I don't use it for anything I'm doing, and fortunately, in what I work at, day-to-day jobs and stuff for clients and things, no one is requiring that of me right now. The producers, if they need to, not yet, but no, we need to be up on it because everything is going that direction, man. So it's like you don't want to be ignorant to the process and hide under a rock, but at the same time, I think for my own indie stuff, like I prefer practical in camera as much as possible. And we're doing this piece I'm shooting right now. It's all we do have some VFX shots. Like the last shot, there's something underneath this boat that's revealed, and it's super subtle, but we've shot it with a drone, but we're adding some light stuff in there, so that's okay. But that's being done by an artist. It's not being done by AI. So
Well,
I've already said Hitchcock might have loved a laptop. We don't know. So
Hitchcock, oh yeah.
He probably would have loved to have it's done. All right. He would have loved it. So a tool is a tool.
What's interesting about it's interesting about this Document of the Dead, how the interviewer asks George about the Hitchcock. They bring up Hitchcock comparison, which is really interesting because I know George wasn't he on set for North by Northwest?
Yeah,
in New York. That's what I've read.
That's like one of his when he was like 19. He was like one of the just grips or just a gopher on North by Northwest, and his experience on set, seeing how Hitchcock worked and the way he treated his actors and his crew, totally disgusting.
I thought it might have been okay. I knew about that information, but I didn't know the point you're making about George kind of seeing this grandiose Hollywood level of production and kind of being driven into this more indie, controlled environment, smaller environment, which of course I love and prefer. But it is. I thought maybe that did come from you. I heard that somewhere, and I thought that was fascinating because They
Yeah.
ask him in the interview, and he kind of hesitates a little bit, which you know.
Yeah. he
Wow.
gives the
Yeah.
he gives the they have some nerve,
Yeah. No, which was
comparing him
brilliant,
to
right?
Hitchcock.
You gotta
Yeah.
love him for that because he was just so he was
It's
awesome.
typical George. Come on.
Yeah,
Typical
yeah,
George.
yeah.
Well, it's funny.
yeah.
It just depends on how you take it. It's like, how could you compare me to somebody like Hitchcock? Or you could be like, how dare you compare me to somebody like Hitchcock? I'm not.
He
like
was
that guy
not-
at all.
I mean, in terms of suspense, like I don't know, it's my own opinion, but he certainly was. He had his own thing, man. Hitchcock was all about manipulation, control, like everything being tightly boarded and conceived beforehand. And I think the brilliance of George, especially like Night and his early stuff, the 70s, was like very fluid, very documentary feeling, like coverage, which I think helps
just
Night.
felt
Can you
like-
imagine? Yeah.
It just felt like everything in the 70s, because Hitchcock was still Hitchcock in the 70s. He was kind of the light at the end of the tunnel, or whatever the fucking phrase I'm looking for is. But he was like, the crown, the standard bearer of horror, whatever. So it's like they used to call Argento was this, the Italian Hitchcock, and everybody was Hitchcock. If you did horror,
was
you
the
were
Spielberg
some
of that
version
generation.
of Hitchcock. Yeah, and it's
He
just
was
like
Spielberg, So
but yeah.
I love Hitchcock, by the way. This is not dissing Hitchcock. I just think this Vertigo is like one of my favorite films. I mean, I adore that film, but like at the same time, it's like there's really no comparisons in terms of style with George and
yeah.
Hitchcock.
So I mean, maybe like this and a few things here and there, but yeah, just in general, no. Like Hitchcock was definitely much different than what George was doing. George, I'm trying to think of who I would compare George to, for like, especially in the 70s, anybody that came before him. I mean, even in the documentary, he kind of mentions like Howard Hawks, people like
He says
that.
Orson Welles. I
Orson
think.
Welles. Yeah, George loved
think
Orson Welles. He was a huge Orson Welles guy. He always wanted to do something, Orson Welles like. So yeah, Hitchcock's, like I said, I think it's just a matter of, it was that time period where if you were having any success in the horror genre, it was like, oh, you're like the new Hitchcock, and it's like,
Yeah, you accept that compliment. Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Well, like George was saying, he was just covering his ass. All he was doing was covering his ass.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he knew how to do, just from doing commercials. It's the commercials, 30 seconds, get a point across, sell a product,
Absolutely.
keep it moving. And
I love that Rubenstein, I believe, mentions that in this film too, which is really. I mean, by the way, as somebody who has a ton of commercial background too, like in terms of editing, like trailer film, like to a lot that I do not like, but that I'm forced to work on. Man, you learn so much about story just condensing things down in a quick, digestible. 30 seconds or 2 minutes,
and learning how to like be disciplined too. Like it's got to be really hard, because you shoot so much, and then to cut it down to 30 seconds, it's like you can't really linger too long on something. You kind of got to know, well, shit, this looks great. I love this shot, but I'm going to have to cut it because it doesn't, we got to narrow this down. It's,
you can't fall in love with anything. Everything is expendable.
Yeah. It's, because I've tried like doing like intros and stuff here, like for the show and stuff. Sometimes I'll have like this grandiose idea, and I'm just like, well, goddamn, I can't. This goes on forever. I'm gonna just have to really, narrow it down. And it's kind of like, fuck, I'm cut this out, let this go. It sucks. Let's see. We had John Wakefield. What's going on, John? It says, I almost got the zombie version of Dawn of the Dead. I ultimately decided I didn't want to spend $30 on something I already owned. Which there's a billion different versions of that, like as opposed to what we get here in the US, where we barely get anything Dawn of the Dead. It's like overseas, it's like there's all kinds of different versions of Dawn of the Dead that have been released. The Argento cut, which we'll be doing a fan commentary for next weekend. So So Matt, you'll be there. I know you're excited about that one. That's your favorite version of Dawn of the Dead.
Hey man, any version of Dawn of the Dead, any version.
That's a joke, right?
Exactly.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Sarcasm.
I went to the before I left in downtown LA. my wife and I went and saw that Goblin playing the live score to Dawn of the, and they advertised it as Dawn, and it's in Savini and Nicotero. They were all there apparently up in the rafters.
I remember hearing about that.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing photos from that.
Tom afterwards, yeah, because I think they were a little upset because it was zombie, you know.
Yeah,
it was a completely. It just wasn't. And man, it'd been a while since I'd seen it, and it. You know, not that I hate it. It's just not the same film at all.
It's not the same. It's not the same. And I at one point had a couple of beers and had some opinions about it. And turned the entire fucking Romero internet against me. But
on this stream you did?
Yeah, it's all good. Not that big of a deal.
We got to
go
back.
But it was mostly your disdain for Goblin. You were just like, I don't like Goblin. I'm like, here we go.
Hot take.
Yeah. Hot take. We had a hot take.
How many times I did notice when you know, especially if they're doing the live score, it's like how many times that one cue is repeated throughout.
Oh yeah, the fucking
cut.
the zombie track. Yeah,
which was great. I mean, it was great when hearing it, you know, 1, 2, 3 times. When they get into 5 or 6, I'm like, all right.
Anytime there's any kind of action sequence, it's like, okay, cue the music. For
real though, it really did.
Oh my god. All right. Yeah, definitely for sure.
But it was not to put it. It was still amazing seeing those guys play live.
Oh, it was.
You know?
It would be.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Did you guys get to see that? One of the
I did. Yeah, I saw them when they came through Atlanta. Yeah. And
that's
again,
great.
like I was saying, I don't hate Goblin. I'm just not a fan of the use of the score in the film.
I just don't like listening to them. That's all. But they're nice guys. They're nice guys.
I wish them well. Do not want them to die, but I do not like their music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vulo, what's going on, brother? It's got John Vulo in the house. What's up, John? Wakefield said Argento had a hand in Dawn of the Dead. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, I mean, it seems like common knowledge for our circle of people, I guess. But for a normal horror fan, they probably don't put that together a lot of the times because you don't really see, it advertised all that much, I guess, over here in the U.S. But yeah, he had a major hand in it. Dawn probably wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for Dario. So. Todd, what's going on, man? Riverman from the Rivaldo House podcast says, I'm looking forward to Kate Beckinsale in Twilight of the Dead. I saw a couple of comments, people talking about that. Matthew, what's going on, man? John Harrison would be his choice for directing Twilight. That's kind of the big talking point right now that everybody's talking about. I saw Jeff chiming in. What's up, man? Down is up. What's up, Michelle or Michael, Michelle, Matt, Ed, Eric, and friends?
Jeff.
What are your thoughts on Twilight of the Dead news? Do you think it will actually become a reality? So I want to get you guys' thoughts on it and what we've learned so far about it. So for the longest time there, it was originally supposed to be directed by Brad Anderson and starring Mila Jovovich. And then it just there was no more news after that for a long period of time there. So I just assumed it's probably not going to happen. They couldn't get the funding. And then at Cannes, I guess it was yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Day before yesterday? They actually announced that it'll be Kate Beckinsale starring, and a new director or directors as well. So I'll read what I got here from Deadline. This is where I first saw it, which actually I got hip to the news from a buddy of mine, Tommy. He sent to me. I was like, really? Like that's random. But he was like, yeah, Kate Beckinsale. I'm like, I don't know. I'll have to look this up. And then sure as shit, there it was. Underworld star Kate Beckinsale has been set to lead Twilight of the Dead, the long gestating final chapter of George A. Romero's classic zombie saga. The horror project, which has buy-in from the Romero estate, has recently undergone a facelift with a new cast, director, and financiers. Beckinsale takes over from Mila Jovovich. Additional casting is in process. And says the film will be set on a decimated Earth where the last vestiges of humanity are trapped between warring factions and an evolving undead threat. Now, I've actually read the treatment. It's that Romero wrote. It's like 11, 12 pages at the archive, and it's basically
oh wow,
yeah, it's basically a human. Maybe it's a group of humans. I don't know, but the treatment that I read, it was just one guy on an island. Between two warring factions of zombies. The zombies have evolved to a point where now they're turning against each other, and one of them was led by Big Daddy. So maybe Eugene Clark's about to get another payday. Who knows?
Oh boy.
Price is going up at LDW.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Uh,
man.
And it says the Paz brothers, Doran and Yoav Paz, whose movies include The Golem and Plan A, have been tapped to direct the movie, taken over from Brad Anderson. Stunts vet Ho Sung Pak from Bullet Train is aboard to direct the stunts and action sequences. So, what do you guys think about this? It sounds like seems like the wheels are in motion, and from what I've heard from certain people that are kind of in the know, that are kind of working on this project, it seems like it's going forward. I've heard that they're going to start filming is set to begin in Kentucky and Puerto Rico, from what
Yeah, I
I've
saw
heard.
that. Yeah.
What do you guys
Interesting.
what do you guys think about this? The Twilight of the Dead news.
Well, my first thought is I've never heard of the Paz brothers, so I'm not really sure what
haven't
kind
either.
of work we're gonna. Yeah, I don't know. But then I guess too, my only concern is I guess how far away it's going to drift from George's original vision. So I haven't read the treatment. I don't know. Maybe I'll peep it when we go to the archives next month. But yeah, I mean, I guess at this point we don't really know what's going to happen with it. So cautiously optimistic, I guess. But I don't know. Just have to
I'm
wait.
cautiously pessimistic.
Yeah.
I think I'm with
cautiously
you.
pessimistic.
I don't think I have any
interest.
interest in this yet. Nothing's
Yeah.
piqued my interest in it yet, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, my first thought is filming in Kentucky. We've got to get a Jim Cornette zombie with a tennis racket and everything. We got to get him for that.
They could probably get him. I don't know if you pay him enough, but yeah, that's right down the road from me. If they're filming there, maybe I'll go and see if I can get on as an extra or something. But
Yeah. Go get
yeah.
arrested.
yeah, it's I don't know how to. I mean, it's cool, I guess, that George's name will be on another movie. I don't know what kind of release it's supposed to have. I did see the company that's supposed to be financing it and distributing it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Magenta Light Studios. They did release one of my favorite horror movies of the past couple of years, Strange Darlings.
was
So
good. I
that
really
kind
liked that
of
one.
gave me a little bit of hope. Yeah, I really liked that one. That was a ton of fun. But it seems like they got some things in order here. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, or if they're still trying to drum up interest. Who knows? But
Look at
Yeah,
how
it's
many
like
films.
it's like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, look at how many films Canon tried to put through. It never happened. You remember Canon
Yeah.
Studios?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But this one,
I was
I mean, it's been in the works for a while. So I mean, the fact that they're still pushing for it to happen, and I mean, maybe maybe
I just
it'll
get
happen.
worried about any sort of any mainstream sort of influence when you see a big actor's name getting announced in one of George's. I don't know. I know that's a way to certainly get it financed. So that's just the
Yeah.
reality of it. Totally makes sense. It just, I don't know.
Yeah,
I would
Kate might get
leave
and
well
Kate might
enough
get-
alone. To me,
Yeah,
I'm with
And
Eric
keep
on that one.
and Kate might get a producer roles too. You know,
I
Yeah,
haven't
big
heard,
star
like,
she
I
is.
haven't heard that name in so long. I kind of didn't know she was still doing anything. It's been years. I was like, Kate Beckinsale. God, I haven't heard that name in forever.
I don't know. The beauty of what made George's film so brilliant for me, at least especially his early work or early body of work, is that it was unknown actors, and
That's exactly
they
it.
were not. There was
Absolutely.
so much. Everything was grounded in reality, in this unreality of whatever story is unfolding, and not even
Yeah.
just his zombie films. It was just, for me anyway, that's what made them so brilliant. So I'm skeptical of how it could be, just knowing today's technology and how audiences, what they prefer to see in terms of sound design of horror films now actually drives me crazy, because it's always just really loud jump sound. It just
Yeah.
it doesn't. And again, it's really weird. I hope nobody I work with is seeing me talk about this, because I have to do a lot of that stuff, But I'm like kind of on the other side of, like, I know how far we can push it, but sometimes,
yeah.
it's you don't want to see. Anyway, I just get kind of worried about. But maybe, hey, they might. What I would love to see Harrison get to be at the helm of that. If any, that would be amazing if that's true that somebody's talking about that. But
He's
maybe
not,
that's a fan
he's-
rumor.
Yeah, that's totally fan hope and dream, I think, because
Yeah.
I just think that they're trying to make something else, put George's name on it, which I know
That's
Suze is
right.
involved, and the writers are familiar with George. What was one of the writers was the guy that wrote fucking My Uncle John is a Zombie.
Okay, I like that one. I don't care what you say. That one was fucking Russo's best
So
work.
there you go. Now you don't have to be so cautiously pessimistic. Now you can be
I'm gonna buy
optimistic.
that
That
Lulu
changes
next
things.
month.
Yeah, what was his name? Robert Lucas. Robert Lucas is one of the writers on this thing, and Paolo or Paola. I can't remember where's. I'm trying to find the name, but I saw he was on one of the episodes of the Garf a while back with Matt and Eric. So I mean, they're familiar with George's work. I feel like they, they're not bringing in just some randos to try to interpret
Right.
a world and a series of films that they don't understand or don't care about. So I mean, that's okay, but yeah,
I think I would feel better
know.
if it was somebody closer to not
Right.
Suze, but I mean like somebody who
Well, that's
from the Romero
Yeah.
family.
Paolo
back in the
Salati.
day.
Paolo Zalotti is the guy's name. He's a producer, screenwriter, and author of The Treatment. That he worked. I guess he worked on it partially with Romero. I guess is what it's saying here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Michelle,
do
that's kind of that was kind of my sentiment also, is like it feels like it's moving further and further away from what it might have originally supposed to have been.
It's probably
Yeah,
another
it's-
CGI fest.
Yeah, that's
With-
right. Exactly.
with
Well, do they have?
practical effects and
Well, do they
my
even
guess.
have the rights? Do they even have the rights to use Big Daddy at this point?
It's a good question.
If it's not going to be
question.
Universal,
Yeah, it's not gonna be.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be universal. So yeah, I mean,
so
I
that's
doubt.
out the-
I
so that's
doubt.
out the window.
Unfortunate for Eugene. I don't think they're gonna bring back Big Daddy for this one. Although I would pop for that. I'd be like, okay, I'm in. Like Eugene's back, baby. Big
only if he
Daddy's back.
sings. Only if he's a singing zombie.
But
Yeah.
that would be like in a total fan fiction world, a warring faction between Big Daddy's army of zombies and Bub's army of zombies.
Yes, yes.
Maybe I could get behind that, but
He
Otherwise-
followed Dead Reckoning all the way up to Canada, or weren't they heading to Canada?
Yeah.
yeah.
Didn't George want to do? He wanted to do a direct sequel to Land of the Dead with those characters, right?
I don't
Didn't he-
think he wanted to do a direct sequel as
okay.
much as the
Thought I heard
studio kind of wanted him to do a direct sequel because Land of the Dead
Oh.
made money. Like it was like it
Mhm.
didn't blow up at the box office, but DVD sales were pretty big at the time. So they sold a
Mhm.
shitload of DVD sales. So Universal was kind of all in on doing. I think it was originally supposed to be called Road of the Dead, and it was supposed to continue
Oh.
following them on the road to wherever they were going in the Dead.
That was the
Reckoning.
Road of the Dead project. All right, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Gotcha.
I think at some point Romero was just like, because he had such a horrible time on Land of the Dead, he was just like, I don't want to
Yeah.
do that again. I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
and make Diary, just play with $5 million and just do my own little thing. Like,
I guess that's the whole reason why, which of course is these are different producers and filmmakers involved and everything. It just, I guess that's, Land of the Dead have a feeling that was not, even though there are things I like about the movie, there's a lot of things I don't like about the movie.
yeah,
And I was like, it's one of those that I don't know. Anytime like a studio gets involved or something, it just starts to worry me. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe I could be completely wrong, just depends. We're in a completely different era now in terms of, can you imagine George actually, what was so brilliant about, just his career and how the momentum that he was able to build, especially in the 70s into the 80s, is that he was, he was really in a period of time that does not exist anymore in independent film, really, because the whole paradigm of independent filmmaking is open to so many people to do it. You wonder if George would have had a similar career even now, because I think he was that time period that he made those films in, it was just so groundbreaking, and he was just at the right place at the right time in making that,
we were kind of talking. We were kind of talking about this and like how the industry's changed, and how we were talking about this last night on the Revival House show, just about like how filmmakers break into the business now and how they just pretty much the ones that know how to play the game and know how to handle a production, get it done on time, under budget. Movie makes money, they can continue to do that for the studio. And George would have never worked in the system the way that it is today. Like he just wouldn't. Like I said, there's so many filmmakers that came and one that came up last night, Jim Van Beber. You guys remember Jim Van Beber from back in the day? He made Manson Family, My Sweet Satan, Deadbeat at Dawn. Like he was one of those, like in the early 2000s, late 90s, one of those like horror directors that everybody was saying, oh, this guy's going to be big. Like he's because he was making, really good stuff on low budgets, but he was also just very rebellious, wanted to make his thing, wouldn't comply. Like he was his own guy. And then I haven't heard about him in 20 years. So and so many Brad Anderson is a perfect example. Did Session 9, did The Machinist, and then
I love Session 9.
Chewed up and spit out.
It comes to a point whether you want to play the game and make money or you want to do projects that you're passionate about, and it really you have to find it. There's such a fine line there, and the ones that can find both of those things that get really lucky. But it's that's amazing. But it's just oversaturated market now, and but it's amazing that George had the career that he did at the time he did. For somebody, for me, and many others like me who were, making independent films, appreciate, and especially what we're going to watch tonight is one of those films that, man, it's like hearing him break down his craft and talk about.
Yeah, man. Like I remember seeing that when I
first, endlessly inspiring.
It's like free film school watching, and that's what it was meant to be originally. When Frumkes was going for, it was just supposed to be an educational video that he would send around to different schools and teach people the process of making independent film. And
there wasn't really out, huh?
Oh my god, yeah,
for going on, yeah.
And because
it wasn't between. I listened to an interview and he talked about it was between George and another filmmaker that he was going to go document.
Was it Wes Craven? Because
I know I would have remembered that if it was somebody. I don't remember their name right now.
I know he was friendly with Craven too, because I remember him talking about him having a conversation with Wes Craven about the casting process of The Hills Have Eyes back in 77, 76. So, but yeah, Frumkes was friendly with, was friends socially with Richard Rubenstein, and he had this idea because he was teaching. Teaching at this school, and he had this idea. The school gave him the money to do it because they liked the idea of like this, hey, go on set, go from, pre-production, production, post-production, show how it's done on an independent level. And he was like, well, I happen to know a guy they're filming, because I think he was in New York at the time, right down the road in Pittsburgh, they're filming this movie, Dawn of the Dead, at this mall. So we'll go down there. And Rubenstein was cool with it, and history was made. It's just like, and nothing had ever really been done like that before, like a making of documentary about an independent horror film. I can't think of many before that.
And man, he was there documenting it at like George's peak. And not just George, his entire team. I mean, it really was the peak of his, and maybe it's just his career, but Dawn of the Dead is just, I think it's George's.
I do too. I think it was George's creative.
It's so hard for me to say which is his best film, but you can't argue with it. Dawn is just so brilliant.
He's firing all cylinders. Yep.
Yeah, just really having that piss and vinegar of like, I'm gonna make what I want to make. This is what I want to do, and I'm gonna die making it. And he almost, you can, like I've said it before, like you see him on like before they started shooting to what he looked like after. It looked like he aged 10 years. Like he was, fresh face, full brown beard, and then by the end of Dawn, like he was going gray. He got really, really sick. Really sick for a while there after.
Oh, I didn't know that.
After finishing Dawn. So yeah, he was just, because he wouldn't eat, he would just drink coffee.
Well, can you imagine
work on Dawn of the Dead?
I just know as an editor, you're always working in your head, even if you're not. At that day, he was at a flatbed, which is amazing that they have shots of that in this film.
Yeah,
just capturing all that stuff. It's a great stuff. But George on location there, like just chain smoking, like sitting like
Yeah.
right
Oh,
off
yeah.
camera
Yeah,
watching.
that might be a
like,
good drinking game. Is everybody take a drink when there's a shot of George not smoking?
Oh.
yeah.
That might be the safer version of that drinking game. But yeah, it's
It's just
amazing.
for Frumkes to have been there when he was. Just thank God, right? So
Yeah.
it's amazing that we
Absolutely.
have this
Amazing how it
material.
worked out.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so wrap it up. Twilight of the Dead coming soon to a theater near you, and I guess the one, the big,
Or
I guess
not.
the positive, or not, we'll see. But I guess the positive spin on it is maybe if it does get a release and a good budget, and it does garner some attention and garner some success, maybe it opens the door for other younger generations to discover George's work, and we get more George stuff in the future.
That's
If
right.
we get another, we
Yeah.
may finally get a Don release on 4K in the US. If
Yeah.
Richard says, "Oh, George's name is back in the news," we got
Yeah, make some money, money, money.
Hey, maybe
I
now's
was
the
wondering
time.
if
That's a
we were
good
going to hear
point.
a Rubenstein impression tonight. That was pretty good.
That wasn't one of my better ones, but it was more of like
Oh,
yeah.
And then we get the full Martin edit. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That maybe we'll see. Say hi to everybody real quick here. Bonnie, what's going on, Bonnie? Good to see you. Says hello, everyone. I got Fat Pig, the Conqueror's in the house. What's going on, Fat Pig? Right. That seems just rude. I'm gonna call you the Conqueror. There's like two different things you could go with there, but I'm gonna go with the kind version. I'm gonna call you the Conqueror. What's up, Conqueror? He said I had the people at Saturday Matinee, our version of Suncoast, special order this because I didn't trust buying things off the internet. Yeah, that was me back in the early days. I hate that I was that trepidatious because you could find all that good shit on eBay back in the day for little to nothing, and now you look and it's like hundreds of dollars. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Let's see, you got Steven. What's going on, Steven? Steven Newstrack Jr. Howdy, campers. I knew he would be here. He heard Michelle was going to be on tonight, so he wouldn't miss it for the world.
Hi, Steven.
William Cobb, my fellow Evansvillians in the house. What's going on, man? I think I'll be seeing you here in a few weeks at Living Dead Weekend. I saw Garrett, Born to Be Rad, chiming in. What's up, man? Go check out Born to Be Rad. Says, see you in Pitts. Absolutely, man. I can't wait to finally meet you. One of the coolest YouTubers. I love. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. Born to Be Rad. He's like he transports you back to the 80s. Like just the look of it, the feel of it. Like he just everything fucking 80s. Like this dude's all about it, and it's really fucking cool. And just a super cool guy too. Let's see, Riverman says Eric, looking forward to talking to you at Living Dead Weekend. And Miamityville Horror Doc, I really dug it. There you go. A little shout out for Eric's doc. One of my favorite
Thank you.
franchises. That's right. Yeah, it is a
one of
great
your
documentary.
That's one of your favorites, right, Michael? It's an Amityville.
I don't like the movies, but I liked your doc, and I
know.
I told you
making fun.
that.
I'm poking fun at
And
you.
I swear to God,
I
I'm not
actually
just
can't
saying that to
stand
be nice.
Yeah. No, thank
Sure.
you.
I'm not, because I remember before I had Eric on, I was like, I'm gonna watch his doc just to so I have some frame of reference. And I started, and I was like, I don't really care about Amityville or anything like that, but I'm gonna watch it and just so I know what's going on. And about 30 minutes into that thing, I was just like fascinated by this guy, the fucking main guy that you follow around. I'm just like, this dude is a fucking character. Like I love
It really wasn't. You don't have to be into. Actually, I don't
You
think there's
don't.
really been any good Amityville films made ever. Like, and now it's like it literally is like the code word for schlock. They put Amityville in front of anything.
Oh yeah,
so-
yeah, the Amityville
But,
toilet.
No, it's a psychological.
Amityville,
portrait of-
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. It has turned into like just a joke now, but yeah. Anyway, thank you to the person who said that.
Let's see, we got Robert. Saw Robert in here. What's going on, brother? We got Robert Harvard's in the house. Jeff, of course. What's going on, man? Did I miss anybody? Steven says, from the stories I heard, George was lucky he wasn't on the set of any Otto Preminger's films. Yeah, Hitchcock was more than enough for George, I think. Hey, there's a hot take from Robert. Night 68 is more suspenseful than anything I've seen by Hitchcock, in my opinion. There's a hot take. I'm here for it. Paul Brooks, what's going on, man? See you here in a few weeks. Good to see you, my man. Let's see. Here's another hot take from John. John's hot take is Goblin's Dawn theme is my favorite of their theme songs. It reminds me of Dante's Inferno for some reason. Yeah, I mean, I love Dawn, so I mean, it's right up there. But man, the demons theme that Claudio, that fucking thing
Yeah.
gets me pumped every time I hear that. Matt Blasi is in the house. What's going on, Blasi? Says my friend Larissa just watched Dawn for the first time ever tonight. Interesting. Took me years to finally make her watch it. I'm making her see more Romero. Good man. Good man. You just enrich that girl's life.
Yes, tie her up. Tie her up. That's all you gotta do.
Just popped in to see her pretty face and velvety voice, Michael. Thank you. I appreciate that. Long day of movie location visits. See you soon. Yeah, the king of movie location visits, Matt Blasi, ladies and gentlemen. This dude, this dude will visit the location of any movie ever made and somehow perfectly line up the shots. And it's
I think he has already. I think he's out of movies. I think done
so.
them all.
I think he's I think he's just going through random people's home movies at this point and is like, all right, let me see if I can find where this house was at. You know, this birthday party. You know.
And you do have a velvety voice, Michael. That's an immense compliment. You should appreciate that.
Velvety voice. I'll take it.
Nice.
It's even better when I do my Rubenstein impression, though. Now that's a velvety voice.
I hope to hear more tonight.
Yeah, just do the rest of the stream lap that way, please.
Let's do it.
Right.
Come on.
Any word yet that Suze will be at Living Dead weekend? I don't know. That's a good question. I've met her at Living Dead weekend a couple of years back, but I don't think she's been there the past couple of years. So I don't know I don't know anything in particular, but from what I've heard, I don't know if she'll be up for the trip. But we'll see. I'd love to see Suze there though, because she's a super sweet lady, super nice. Like, I just walked up to her and I was just like, hey, I just want to thank you for helping the amusement park get it released finally and getting all everything that you're doing. She was like, oh well, yeah, well, what's your favorite scene? And she starts asking me questions about the amusement park, and I'm like, oh sweet, we just had a conversation about the amusement park, and and then I broke something off of her table accidentally, and I was like, oh, no. But she was like the sweetest about it. She was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just junk anyway. Don't worry about it. I'm like, all right.
Well, and she was sort of the driving force between the archives too, right?
Oh yeah. Pretty much everything that we've gotten post George's death has really been spearheaded by Suze.
Her interview on the amusement park Blu-ray was it was moving actually to listen to some of the stuff she talked about. I was like, I can't remember because I think I've watched it. I've watched the film several times, but the interview I think watched once. But when I did, I remember it just being like, wow, this,
Yeah, and she specifically brought up the scene when the woman's running down the street trying to find the doctor, trying to find help for her sick husband, and she was like, that just hit home for me because she kind of went through that with George. George at a point was just was like that guy, just bedridden and just in pain, and she said, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, this has to be seen. Like, it just hit her. She was like, this has to get out there some way, one way or another. I was like, well, I'm super glad that you did, because it's
for real.
It's incredible.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Anybody else here? I agree with this sentiment. Big Joe Grizzly, better than Big Daddy. I agree. We need Joe Grizzly in a Romero film. Joe Grizzly, bitch. Satan's in the house. It's always good to have Satan in the house. What's going on, Satan? There you go. Hail Satan. There you go.
Hail Satan.
Got Baba Ganoush. What's up, man? Good to see you. Fellow Canadian there.
I was just going to say fellow Canadian.
There you go.
Long weekend. Well, for you guys too.
There you go. Your wife's a smart lady. She hates horror, but likes Knight Rider, says Robert. There you go. I don't trust people that don't like Knight Riders. I don't know. There's something. It's like,
my wife was kind of the same. She loved Knight Riders and but the zombie films she can't handle it. So she's going with me. I'm going to see the Crazies next weekend at the Mahoning.
Oh yeah, that is next weekend. Oh, I would love to be there because
so I'm dragging her to that.
It's
like a triple feature.
Yeah, that triple feature is like a perfect, because I've literally thought about that triple feature before, of like a Lynn Lowry triple feature, because they're all very similar. The Crazies, I Drink Your Blood, and Shivers, like all kind of tonally this similar shit going on there. And I think she's going to be there too, isn't she?
Lynn Lowry will be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a print of it at the New Beverly Theater in LA, 15 years ago or something. And Lynn was at that screening as well. But it was like it was super faded red. You know, it was complete. It was still awesome to see it, but I think it was a double. I think it was Day of the Dead. Yeah, it was a 35 print of Day, and then Lynn Laurie was there for Crazies, but it was. I still have a picture of the marquee too, because you know I was there, nerding out with my George shirt on and stuff.
That's really cool.
We don't get anything cool here. Like
that is the one thing
you had
I
a triple
really
feature
miss.
where you were at one point. It was night, dawn, and day. I was like, God damn, why don't we get anything like that here in Evansville? We don't get anything here.
Literally the year before I moved back east, they had the triple. They showed all of George's films except I guess Survival was the only one that was digital. It was a DCP or whatever, but everything else was all film. But I did see Night of the Living Dead on an old 35 millimeter print back in 2008 at that Texas Frightmare weekend, and that was pretty cool. But outside of that, I don't know if I've ever seen anything else George on actual film. I gotta check, but I don't want to say it. I'm maybe at the wrong place to say this. I'm bidding right now on a print of Night on eBay, and I'm trying to keep my fingers crossed.
But
so
I hope Larry nobody
mess this up. I've tried so many times. I tried to get a print of Dawn too. I think I told you, Michael, about that.
Yeah.
It was a whole. I got it, and then the person pulled it down, like sent my money back.
Call his ass out.
No, and I paid quite a bit for it too. But
call his ass out.
Oh,
somebody. A lot of people know.
Nasty. I was not thrilled about that because I was telling Larry about that too, actually. But anyway, it's one of those things that it happens. But I'm trying to get my hands on Night because that would be amazing to have. So but I've got a bunch of Prince movies.
I saw they had like half of Two Evil Eyes, 35 millimeter print on eBay at some point, and I was like, it's Two Evil Eyes.
On eBay. They're showing Two Evil Eyes at the Mahoning as well on Friday.
Oh, really?
There he is. Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
He's got it covered already.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, of course. Larry already has the 8 millimeter, 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter versions of Night of the Living Dead, and he probably also has it.
All right. Well, if I lose out on this one, I'm gonna start sending you offers, I guess. I'll probably fail. Yeah,
actually. Felcher was on one of, I think it was like one of his auctions was auctioning off. I want to say it was some kind of, I can't remember what it was. It was some weird print of the Night of the Living Dead trailer. Larry might want to correct because Larry ended up winning it, but I remember going into a bidding war with Larry on fucking Felcher's channel trying to get that thing, and after a while I was just like, I'm not beating Larry. I give up.
You guys see this? That's This is a 30-second spot of Dawn. Actually, I posted it recently. Cool. Yeah, it's all. Awesome. I digitized it or I scanned it or whatever. But yeah, it was pretty fun. But that was what I was. Remember, was it Michael? God, what was his last name? The editor who he cut the trailer for Dawn, and then he cut either one or two of the segments in Creepshow. We were talking about this.
That's
Michael,
right. Yeah, it's the guy that ended up doing. Didn't he write
Father's Day, I think?
And then went on to do the apartment living.
The apartment living project. Yeah,
that's right.
It's just kind of an interesting thread that I didn't know that much about.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was pretty stoked to find that out. That's one I want to dive into a little more, is what happened with that apartment living thing, because that guy, I guess, is still around. And
well, Jim Bavica will be one to ask about that, right?
That's true. That is true.
Because he was involved in that project. Yeah. So he'll be at Living Dead weekend, right? So
yeah, I'm sure it would have been better than. Never mind. No more issues. I saw you give me the eye. I was like, okay, no, I won't. But I am kind of curious. I do kind of want to ask. I do want to ask Jim about blood-sucking pharaohs for sure. Because I'm just like, what was the story with that? How did you get to be a producer on that? What was that about?
Don't say the title too many times, man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
That's right. It's like Big Bench. We talked about that.
I'm just gonna go.
So wait, the one thing I was gonna ask, was it shot on video like Midnight 2, or was it actually shot on?
No, I think it was actually shot on film. I mean, it looks decent. Right. Yeah,
at least there's it. Okay. Oh, okay. I gotta see it. I haven't. All right.
It looks
I
it looks
love it.
fine. I mean, it was edited by Tom Dubinsky, effects by Savini. There's a
I
lot of
knew.
good people working on it, but the movie itself is just, you know,
I remember the chapter in
it's
Tom's
great.
book 2.
Yeah,
Ronde
that's why
Illusions book
I
2.
bought
That's
it.
what I always remember it from that chapter, and that's it. Yeah, haven't seen the film. It's one of the few I haven't seen, I guess.
You better get to it. But what's up, everybody? Are you guys ready to watch Document of the Dead? And we decided, because there are like 3 different versions of Document of the Dead that have come out over the years. He did the original version, which is it's like 66 minutes long, that came out first, and then went back and which the version that I first saw was the second version that he did, where he went back and added the footage from Two Evil Eyes. And then there's the definitive Document of the Dead, which Synapse put out on Blu-ray some years back, which is about an hour and a half long, which goes all the way through Survival, which there's a lot of really cool shit on that version as well too. But the version that we're watching tonight is the 66-minute version, the original version, which didn't get a release or anything for many years. It wasn't until like VHS in like late 80s, early 90s, I think.
89, I think, was the
89,
first.
yeah.
89, yeah. Until people saw it. And there were different versions of it. It's kind of hard to find, fairly rare, but there's that gold box version that he had George sign.
Yeah, I want to get my hands on one of those. I saw it on eBay.
Larry
I've seen it
has
a couple
one.
times.
Larry has
Yeah,
one. I know
know.
Larry
I
has
think
one.
Of course.
he has it on his YouTube. I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went looking. It's
But
awesome.
there's various, but tonight we're watching the 66-minute version, the original version, which has more footage from Dawn, because as he kept adding to it, he started cutting more and more out of it. So but yeah, before we get started, I'll send it around the round table here. I'll start with you, Ed. Do you remember the first time? What are your memories of seeing Document of the Dead for the first time?
It was a 2004 Ultimate Edition Blu-ray box set, a DVD box set where I first saw it. And I have a library print of it from 1979.
Do you?
I think
That's right.
I think I sent you a link
right.
to it. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot all about that. That's pretty fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
Where did you get that?
I tried putting it on YouTube. It keeps getting blocked off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got it from a tape trader.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool, because that's probably
yeah,
the only way
yeah.
that tape was in circulation, was through like a library system at the time, because I mean it is basically an educational film. So I mean,
It has library markers on it too.
huh?
Oh, that's cool.
Have I ever sent you a link to it?
I think I remember you. I don't know if you sent me a link to it, but I remember you. I think I remember you mentioning it some time back, or you may have sent me a picture of it or something.
Okay, I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you a link when we get done here.
Yeah, do that. That's pretty awesome. Larry might try to buy that off of you too if you're not careful.
Yeah, don't.
What? It's
Unless you're trying to make some money.
Well, it's pretty much the same edit you already know. It just has the beginning and the end's a little different because it's got the library markers in it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If it's
That would
any,
be cool
if it's the slightest of variations, it's like Larry's got to have it. He's got to have it.
Yeah, no, I love that about him though.
Oh yeah. It's
Completest.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
You really got to look out for though is Jace. I know Jace is always watching that stuff on eBay, and he's always got his ears up for anything like that. So
Jace is amazing to me because it's like every week he drops a new Thursday of the Dead, and it's always something new that I just ordered this. I just got this, and I'm like, and I asked him when I had him on for that Collecting the Dead, I was like, dude, where do you store all this shit? And he's just like, I don't know, just here and there, I'm just like, to me, it's just like you have to like I have a full room here of just like shit, top to bottom on the ceiling, and it's like I feel like I have nothing when I talk to Larry or Jace or any of these people. I'm just like, or Norman. Like when I had Norman on, Norman was just pulling out all this like shit. He's like, oh, I have this, and I'm just like, oh my god, you have that,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, when you had me on for the collecting the Dead thing, I was like, oh, here's some like action figures and stuff, and like,
Hey, your stuff was cool, man.
Oh, I've got a couple of cool things, but like, dude, seriously, looking at Larry's collection and Jace and all these like Blasey, he's got the light fixtures from them all. I know him and Bob have those.
That's a documentary waiting to be made, by the way.
Dude, that's what I'm
the
saying.
grand tour of all these guys. For real though, it would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, Blasey posted something the other day. Somebody had some video equipment in his house. I don't know if he was filming something for a documentary or what he was doing, but
It looked like he was. It looked like he was filming something for the Blair Witch Project. Because if you notice, you can
maybe
see
that's
he
what it
was
was.
sitting in front of
Yeah.
all of his Blair Witch stuff. So that was my guess. But
yeah. But I would kill to get my dirty fucking paws on one of those light fixtures. Like, I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know if anybody's willing to come off of one, but man, I would kill to have one of those.
good luck. Because I remember
Yeah, I
they were
know.
talking about it. I remember Eric Kent talking about that. He was like, I remember when they took all those down, they just had them sitting in the mall, just like piled up, and then like a few people got them, and then the rest, I guess, just went in the trash. And
God
it's
damn,
like,
dude.
God. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. Although that's
But
you kind of hope, like, as you know, as things wind down with the mall, maybe in a back room and in the bowels of the mall somewhere, maybe they have some of that stuff still just stashed away that may be
Man.
discovered. Maybe
I hope so. If they do and they uncover that shit, I'm driving there that night. Like, no kidding. So
Go rent
Dude,
a dump truck.
I had
You gotta get me one too, but I'll
dream
find
that
a way
I
to
did
get it
that.
across the
Yeah.
border.
Yeah.
yeah. And speaking of Eric Kent too, I don't know if you
Eric's
can
got
see
a
this
mall
behind
light,
me.
too.
This is one of the this is the prop-alike of the Panasonic TV that you see Dr. Roush on towards the end of the
Oh,
film. So I'm
that's
holding
right.
that for Eric. Yeah, he bought it from
Cool.
somebody, and I went and picked it up for him. So it's been back there in a couple
Yeah.
weeks.
Brett,
Awesome.
1911 Guitar Dude sent me that and was like, dude, I just found this. You hop on it. Like, I sent it to a few other people. It's probably gonna go fast. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
all right. And as soon as like a couple hours later, it was gone. And I saw you. I think
yeah.
I saw you mention this. I was like, okay, good. Somebody, at least somebody, you know, that I know is gonna appreciate that. Got a hold of that thing. But yeah, that's pretty fucking awesome. Yeah, Jeff, I agree. But again, it's just to them it's trash. You know, it's just like, oh, this is old shit that used to be in the mall. Like, we got to get rid of it. You know, all the benches, all the railings and stuff that they took down and replaced, like all that stuff. Like, to us is just like, yeah, give me that. I'll furnish my entire home
Yeah.
with this shit. But to them, it's just like, who's gonna want this garbage? You know, it's like we gotta get rid of it.
Yeah, I
it's
paid
heartbreaking.
$100 for one brick. Like, yeah, I mean, I'll take a light
Yeah.
fixture. Give me anything you got, dude.
Yeah,
Anything you
definitely.
got.
Larry says I brought Eric Kent his light and met him in Florida so he could get it. There you go. You didn't bring me one, Larry. But that's okay. That's okay.
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll hold his television hostage and say, hey man, look,
There you go.
even trade.
There's the plan.
Even trade. Give me the light fixture and you can have your TV.
But what about you, Matt? Well, do you remember the first you saw Document of the Dead?
Yeah, it was the Ultimate Edition set. And I don't have like any specific memories of it, but that's when I saw it for sure. And I don't have any of the newer versions. I've got it on VHS, but I definitely don't have the definitive Blu-ray. I've got pieces of it downloaded, some of the special features and stuff. But it's definitely up there with one of my favorite documentaries, like I said earlier. And I'm curious too, at some point tonight, I was going to ask you guys while we're on the subject of documentaries, if you guys could just list some of your favorites. We don't have to do it now. We can get into the film, but at some point, maybe just think about it. Yeah. I've got a couple off the top of my head that we can talk about, but I'm
This
just curious.
stream's gonna go to 5 a.m. if we do this.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Well, let's do this. Let's limit it to
I'm not turning you. I'm being funny. But
top two documentaries off the top of your head.
Oh my God, I can't think
Ooh.
right off. Jesus Christ, I've been working every day. I don't know.
Top two documentaries.
you know what I would. It's so hard to do, but I would like Paradise Lost. It was
Oh,
in
man,
HBO
Oh,
from
it's
the
been years since
90s.
I've seen
That's mine.
Unbelievable. I just unbelievable series of films that just the second one too, man, like just blew me out of the water, even though it meandered a little bit with theories and all this. But you know, before true crime was really an entertainment, which is kind of sick in and of itself. Now it's everywhere on streaming.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Oh yeah.
it's I don't know, man, that film just blew me out of the water when I saw it. And it's all shot on film, you know. When I took my Amityville film, the third one was playing in like a theater next. Like we were at Fantasia up in Montreal, and it was playing in 2012 up there, like along, a theater next to us or something. The part 3, but the first 2 films were so, just incredible.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the thing I liked the most about the first Paradise Lost was that the filmmakers. It began as one thing, and as it slowly progressed, and they started seeing some of the characters and some of the players that were around there, it sort of turned into something else. So by the end of the documentary, the filmmakers are kind of like, I don't know about these guys over here. We should probably kind of
well,
a little
that's
bit.
the dream, It's like so much of part of my complaint, at least of where I'm at, as far as the docs that I have made, have always been about retrospectives, people talking about something that happened. The brilliance of that film was they kept documenting this story, and they got access to all these people, and they were just they were all against each other, and it was just complete madness, what was being depicted and talked about in this film. And the subtext emerged, and that's just that's what documentary really can bring to a story and to a film. And it's just I don't know, a completely different type of film than we're going to watch tonight, but it was just
Paradise Lost is like right at the top, because it's weird because West Memphis, like I grew up right around that same time. I lived maybe an hour from West Memphis, so it seems like I knew those people like when I was a kid, but that's definitely one that I get obsessed with, that case and those docs and everything that goes around that whole thing. I get like once a year, and here lately, because it May, it's kind of the anniversary of everything. Like I kind of go back and revisit the case and see what's happened new, if they've discovered anything new. And that's definitely one that I get obsessed with, at least on a yearly basis.
Being here in Arkansas at that time, being a teenager and a heavy metal fan, it was automatically school counselor. I would sit there several times just as a precaution. I'm not kidding. Just as a precaution. You're heavy metal. You're from these people. You go here, and it was quite a scary time.
Yeah. I don't want to go. Maybe this is a whole other stream, but we can get into the actual case itself.
I'm sorry.
That's why I said, man, like if you start talking to me about documentaries, we're gonna literally, I'm gonna have.
Well, my favorite is
get some cold brew shipped in here. I don't know.
My favorite is Ozzy Osbourne, "Don't Blame Me" from 1991. They had that tape. I wore it, slap out. I still watch it 2-3 times a year. I love that one.
I've never seen that one. Man, we can get music. If you talk music docs, we will be here all fucking night. Good Lord, there's so many good ones.
There was a really good one that came out. I Knew It Was You, the John Cazale. I don't know if you guys.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's what I love. That one. That's it.
Yeah.
I was like, now I can finally remember one that I loved. Thank you. My brain turned back on again.
Great actor.
He was one of my favorite actors of all time.
There's another really cool one that came out recently. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's Secret Mall Apartment. Have you heard of that?
I heard of it, but I've never
heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Oh man, it's so fucking cool. These kids they find this place. I guess they found the blueprints of a mall, and they were sort of doing this defiant art project type thing where they found this space inside of a mall, and they created an apartment inside of it, and like they avoided security and everything for years, and actually lived up there. Like they late at night, they would bring their own supplies up, their own furniture and stuff like that. They eventually got busted, and I think they got arrested. But it's a kick-ass documentary. I mean, it's so cool. I think it might be on Amazon or Netflix. I'm not sure, but
I'll have to check that out.
I'll tell you
it's
one.
Really cool, very interesting.
I'll tell you one that I watched that I've seen like 5 times ever since. I just saw it for the first time maybe a couple of years ago. It's from like 66, 67. It's called Salesman.
I know what you're talking about. I don't think I've.
It's a black and white documentary that follows Bible salesmen across the country, from the door-to-door Bible salesman, and it is the most fascinating look, because there's these men that are selling Bibles to, overly priced, fancy Bibles to people that cannot afford them. They go to the poorest of poor neighborhoods, these poor like mothers with like babies in their arms that are just like, and they're just like, are you sure you don't want this edition of the Bible? Like it's, you need this for your kids' sake, for your sake.
Oh, I
And
gotta
it's just,
see this.
it's following these salesmen around, and like in their off time, they're just like chain smoking cigarettes, just fucking miserable motherfuckers that are just like, I don't know how much longer I can stick in the game. I can't do it, you know. And it's just like, if you've ever had a job in sales, it's like, oh god, I've been there. But it's so fucking fascinating. It was put out, I think it's out on Blu-ray. Criterion put it out some years back, but it's intensely fascinating. God,
Have you guys seen any of Errol Morris's like The Thin Blue Line and those types of films?
I've heard of it. I've never seen any of those.
I think I did see The Thin Blue Line, but it was quite some time ago.
That was the film that basically he was able to get the subject out of prison based on the breakdown. You know, basically he was presenting this, you know, wrongfully convicted, person convicted of this murder that he didn't commit, and got him out of prison. And I believe this person turned around and sued Errol Morris over this too, which is like, man, you got me out of prison. Then he's like, you know, I don't know.
Wasn't there something that happened here recently where it was like one of those true crime podcasts or something like that, where or maybe it was like a Netflix series where the whole thing was about how this guy was innocent and he was on death row, and they got him off and they reversed it and he was freed, and then he actually went out and killed somebody or something like that. And he ended up going back to prison for life or whatever.
Wow.
Speaking of getting off, Will Phelps says hello to everyone, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of getting off.
He just said say hi to everybody.
We'll tell the motherfucker to get in the chat and say hi. Like, goddamn. But yeah, like I guess my all-time favorite, you know, Document of the Dead's up there, but American Movie for me is my all-time favorite documentary ever. Like that's top 5 favorite movie period ever for me.
Oh wow.
What about you, Michelle? When was the first time you saw Document, though?
Seems to be a general consensus with the Ultimate Edition.
That's interesting. Like I had seen it on IFC. That was the first time that I saw it, and it was just a random chance thing. I was just going through, I saw it on IFC. I was like, Document of the Dead, what is that? And I saw the little description on DirecTV, and it was like, you know, a documentary on the making of Dawn of the Dead. And at the time, like I loved Dawn of the Dead, but to me it was such a mystery. It was like I knew nothing about any of these actors or anything that went into making that movie. So I remember watching it was just like blown away. I was like, this is fucking amazing. And it, like I said, it was like free film school. Like I started to learn the terminology and listen to what George was saying. And I would start to repeat some of that shit to like people in school, you know, and they'd be like, what are you talking about? And just like, you don't understand how to make film. It's fine, you know? But yeah, like that was, I remember it was just a random chance. And I remember recording it on a VHS tape straight from IFC. And it was like, I think they played Dawn of the Dead, Martin, and then Document of the Dead after that. So I have all 3 of those on a tape somewhere. But
that's awesome.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, I still have it somewhere too. But all right. They were saying, he saw a mall apartment doc. It was cool. There's just so many documentaries out there. It's hard to fuck up a documentary. It's hard to make a bad doc, though. Really.
Yeah.
Typically, they're at least passable. They're at least interesting. You can watch it once and kind of move on. And then every now and then there's ones that you just stick with you.
There was one I got from Vinegar Syndrome in the last sale or the sale before that about VHS collectors. And I thought that's going to be great. You know, this is going to be interesting. It's one of the few movies that when I was, I just said, I'm just donating it. I was like, I can't even. I'm like, I'll never watch this again.
Yeah, documentaries are notoriously difficult to make and edit, and they definitely can be screwed up very easily. I think in terms of the storytelling, you know, it's not scripted, so you're finding many times a story. You know, Document the Dead is different in the sense because it's more educational, and I mean, there's still a story there, but you know, if you're telling a story like we were talking about Paradise Lost, it's like, man, they just brilliantly edited that in terms of testimony and all of that. So I don't know, it's so suggestive in terms of your opinion or tastes and how things are. But I've seen a lot of bad talks. That's the main point I want to make. But
yeah, especially I guess if you know what you're looking for too. But I think for most people, they just kind of they kind of will just get lost in the story or the whatever about it, and they don't really think too much about it. Because I see a lot of bad docs too, like just from my personal taste, just like on Netflix and shit. Like,
Oh yeah.
and I sit,
Ugh.
I'm just like, oh god, here we go again.
They're
The
so
same
cookie
Yeah.
cutter, you know.
cookie
They're
cutter,
so-
absolutely.
They're very cookie cutter, and it's like I've not to name any project names, but I've literally listened to or just been in pitches for stuff and or worked on posts for things, and they'll be, you know, they're looking for, it's manipulation basically. They're looking, especially in true crime, they're looking to make sure you know how we're gonna end this, and to play it up in a certain way that, you know, just feels so, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just icky. It's icky. It's like I said, entertainment. I love true crime in the sense of,
well,
being
Paradise Lost
interested
kind of started that whole thing too. Because as much
Yeah,
as I
but
love those
they-
documentaries, they really manipulated a lot of the facts, and I mean, they literally paid John Mark Byers to act the way that he acts in those documentaries.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's true, I suppose. Yeah,
yeah,
but
so-
it's at least it was more aesthetically and creatively interesting
Right.
than what they're doing
True.
now. I feel like it's so,
yeah. It all kind of looks
somebody
the same
comes
now.
and
Yeah.
that comes and sits in the chair and like they're ready to talk. It's just the same thing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
it's-
talking about?
Is the mic on? Oh,
Yeah.
We're-
All right, let's do this. You know, it's like, oh,
I
Well, that
saw,
John Russo documentary where it was just him talking because he didn't want anybody else,
but you couldn't hear
you
it.
know.
Yeah.
It was poorly mic'd. That was the thing. I was like, oh my
I
god.
really did, you know, it was not what I enjoyed very much.
Lee
Because it was
Carr.
all just Russo saying whatever he wanted to say. You know, but
Lee Carr is in the house. Lee Carr, what's
this
going
Lee?
on, man?
Wow, Lee,
Lee
what's
Carr.
up, man?
wow.
Says his personal favorites are Hearts of Darkness, Eleanor Coppola, which Larry mentioned a second ago, and Decline of Western Civilization Part 2, another great fucking documentary. Yeah. But what's up, Lee? Glad to have you in
Wow.
here, man.
Lee,
I'll
I
make my-
love your books. Love your books. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'll
Yeah,
I'll make-
same.
I'll make my plea right now if you're still in here. Anytime you want to come on, I'm dying to talk to you. You're one of those on the list of people that I'd love to have a conversation with. So if you're ever free and you want to come on one Saturday night, hit me up. Hit me up.
Yeah. I would love to talk to Lee again, man. He helped me out with a lot of filming locations, and I remember running into him up in Pittsburgh a couple of times, and I guess he's off of Facebook now. Man, if you're out there, man, hit me up, dude. I'd love to talk to you.
For sure. Fuck, where was I at? Hold on, I lost my place. Mr. Graveyard Zombie says Providence Place Mall, the documentary. Haven't seen that one. Is that I haven't seen that one. Providence Place Mall, the documentary. Haven't seen it. Forgot about Western Civilization. I like the pink one. What's the pink one? Or the punk one? Okay, that's like the pink one. I was like, I don't know that one. It's been a very new one. Yeah, a lot of good docs, man. That's the thing. You start talking about documentaries. There's so many that I mean, of course, you got to talk about Tony Booba. Tony
Well,
Booba. Anytime you talk
lightning
about
of
docs,
Braddock.
man.
I
Come
was
on.
waiting for this. I was waiting.
Nobody said lightning over Braddock yet.
I was trying to hold my
Yeah.
tongue so I wouldn't get any shit from
brain
Larry's
wasn't
wife here in
braining.
a few weeks because she gives me shit every time. She's like, "Oh, every time I hear Larry listening to you, you're always talking about fucking Tony Booba and Braddock." I'm like, yeah.
They need to put a
Cla-
4K release of that out. They really need to do it.
Oh,
yeah, they really do. Yeah. Class Action.
I was
Part,
in
that
the
was a good one.
Vinegar
I watched that one here.
I was in the Vinegar Syndrome Pittsburgh location like have you guys been there? It's awesome.
Not yet.
This-
Not
the-
yet.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Haven't yet.
They were playing they had like interviews with Tony Booba on the screen as soon as I walked in. I was like, this
Oh,
is
that's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so great. I love
Yeah,
it.
and I was just
Dude,
I
we
wasn't
went
even
to
looking. I was
the,
just standing there watching it. I don't even actually know what it was. It was some kind of deep cut, but it was some interview, a long form interview that was being screened up there. But I thought that was awesome.
After
But
we
great,
after we hit
great place.
we hit the archives last year, and after we left the archives, we went to the Carnegie Museum of Art, and right there, as soon as you walk in, they're playing "Homage to a Milltown" by Tony Booba, right next to Picasso.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck, man!" Walked right into that. That was awesome.
That's
Really
Really
cool
you saying
stuff.
that is awesome.
Yeah,
Tony's a treasure. He's a local Pittsburgh treasure.
Oh yeah.
I got to talk to him last June. He was. I think I told you, right, Mike? You guys have talked to him, of course, right?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I talked. Well, he was just standing off to the side. He wasn't trying to. I don't think he went into the room, but he was just standing there by the escalator or something. So I was talking to him for a bit. But
Yeah, because he
super-
wasn't there as a guest, but I saw him
Right.
too. I stopped to talk to him.
Yeah,
Because then I think,
It's
Mike,
such
you
a
were
nice
like,
guy.
what? I miss Tony Booba? Or one of you guys were like,
Yeah.
he was here.
And then Michelle went and spent the day with Tony Booba and got the personal
God.
tour of Braddock. And I was like,
Yeah.
you bitch.
I just said I
Why
was
do
going
you-
to
why do
Braddock.
you
He
look
said,
at-
why don't we go around together?
Oh yeah,
I was like,
I'm going to hang out with Tony Booba all day. I'll see you later. And it's like, all right.
Did he
I'm
take you to the
I'm having dinner.
Did he
at
take
your
you to the
all's
house?
Oh.
yeah. Oh, yeah. He took me to
Not
all
in
of his,
the house.
No, it's not his house anymore.
No, I
It's
know.
not his
yeah.
anymore.
No, but he took me all around to all the filming locations and stuff. And it was great. He's awesome.
That's
I love him.
amazing.
Yeah,
Michelle, next month, I'll let you boy. Come on, let's make it happen.
Hey, Tony. He's going to
Hey.
be
Oh,
there.
Tony.
So.
He is going to be
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you, Lee. Thanks for hanging out, man. It's always good to hear from you.
Hey Tony, my friend Michelle said we could ride around in the car together. What do you wanna-
Well, okay. Now I
Let's
love
set this
Tony,
up.
but man, his driving, I don't know. We did drive through a bush. And he talked
Oh.
about how he hit the curb and got a flat tire, and the mayor of Braddock came and changed it for him like earlier that week. And I'm
As he
like,
should have.
the man
These are
is like-
documentaries. See, these are documentaries waiting to be made.
I know. I was like,
exactly.
I was a little
I
concerned.
could bring
about
the
some
camera
driving, but
next.
hey.
I mean, I'll have it. Just let me know next time. So
All right, you guys ready to get this thing rolling?
yeah.
let's do it.
All right. So the document that it is available on YouTube. I saw Jeff mention that earlier. This version is on YouTube if you want to check it out. It's a 66-minute cut. Excuse me, of Document of the Dead. So if you guys want to watch along, find that. Pop this out here. All right, everybody, get it queued up here, and we'll get it rolling. Where the fuck did it go? Oh, cast to device.
You gotta tell me where you're paused on.
I'm like right at the. It's just a black screen for me. So,
Yeah, I'm using the file that you sent, Michael.
okay, yeah, that's the file it's actually on YouTube. I stole it straight
Right.
off YouTube. So, excuse me. Oh, shit, I had this popped out on a separate screen here a second ago. Hold on, let me see if I can get this thing to work. I don't want to cast to a device.
You sound like me attempting to figure out anything technological.
I'm an
Eh?
old fuck. I'm an old man. I'm like, what are you doing here? Shit, how did I do that? I had it set earlier, and then I was like, all right, I don't know. I didn't forget how to fucking.
Now you really sound like me.
I think you said the magic words a few minutes ago. The blood-sucking pharaohs. I
It's
think
wonderful.
you jinxed yourself.
Well, this is.
Yeah.
It's he's
Oh,
gotta
it's a
he's gotta
curse.
compliment it. See,
Upon us all.
I don't watch Jeepers Creepers. All of a sudden, it took me to Jeepers Creepers. Hold on.
Yeah, just watch that.
that's the curse.
All right, there we go. Picture in picture. That's what I want to do. Not on the channel. If I put it on the channel, we're gonna get shut down. So we're gonna have to. Oh Lord! All right. All right, I'm set. You guys ready?
Yep.
Set.
All right. Everybody's like, "Yeah, we've been ready, dumbass. We're just waiting for your
Waiting on you, buddy.
stupid ass." All right, here we go. We're gonna do a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Press play now. On now, we will press play and we will start this movie. So, all right, here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Press play now. All right, and we're rolling.
Whee.
I want to know where they source this music, these sound effects.
I was curious about that too.
It's like I also love these definitely handcrafted film titles here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
They're not
charm.
quite the
Written-
same in the other cuts. I don't know. I love the this is why
Yeah,
the original.
I love this opening too. That's why I like this opening better than the one in definitive cut, the one with Groucho
And Groucho,
Marx here.
oh,
This quote, funny story. When I was in a band at one point, and I wrote all the songs and named all the songs and shit like that. And I named one of the songs "Living in Pittsburgh," if you can call that living, in parentheses, based on just this little scene here. And they're like, everybody was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" I'm like, don't worry about it. Yeah.
that's incredible.
I bet that was a huge hit.
Hey, that was the one we opened with, man. We got the crowd hyped with that one.
Awesome.
Yeah, you got to drop that track after the show, man.
We never recorded it. There's a live version of it out there.
Oh, really? Wow.
Recorded on an old VHS-C tape. So it's pretty cool.
Mm,
Sounds great. Just sounds, you can hear, yeah, it's beautiful sound.
I remember those days fondly.
What was George wearing on his arm right there? Some kind of bracelet?
That's the 70s, man.
Well, he's always kind of worn something like that.
Yeah.
Whether it's like a watch or something. He always kind of wears it halfway down his arm for some reason.
I love that they open this though with him talking about just, you know, Pittsburgh and the independence of it all, and that it gives you a different perspective on not being in the mainstream think. I think something like that, which is just tells you so much about. It's what I love about George's whole.
Me too.
You know,
yeah, it's
what
so
I love.
important. There's so many stories that can be told anywhere.
That's right.
If people are allowed to tell them, you know, not everything has to take place in New York or LA. Like sometimes the story that people want to hear is the story that takes place in Omaha, Nebraska or something, you know. It's just
and he just his point about being left to your own devices and unmanipulated by whatever is popular,
whatever's cool.
And it's just, I don't know. And look at the films we got when he was just left to his own devices, right? So that's what's so great about so many of his films.
And today that stunt would cost what, $10 million? Just driving a car across the street.
That'd be low budget today, man.
I'm talking about today. With today's budget, it'd be $9 million.
Right.
Lee says there was a mention of the Vinegar Syndrome store here in Pittsburgh. I have zero idea if this is common knowledge because I'm so out of the loop, but the ashes of Lanny Powers are at that store.
What?
And Lanny, of course, designed the Dawn poster art.
Oh,
Is that true? I've never heard that.
Interesting.
wow.
I'll have to find
It's
that
not common
out.
knowledge.
Wow.
Well, they're not.
Cool.
They're definitely not advertising that. 'Cause I didn't
No,
see it.
no.
No,
That
I've
is the
never heard
first
that.
time I've heard that. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Now
I'm gonna
watch.
have to make
Now
a
watch.
trip.
Larry's gonna buy and watch.
Yeah.
Larry's gonna go just to make
better.
just to make an offer. Yeah.
I at least want to see them if they're there. That'd be kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Let me have a little pinch of them.
I bought the Savini doc. They were selling it there. Yeah.
Smoke and Mirrors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have that one.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
We see Richard.
This 16 millimeter footage though, man, just again the access they had
I know.
Oh yeah.
to being on set, man, just thank God this stuff was captured. It's just so great.
Oh my.
And everybody's candid too. There's right in there.
Yeah.
Well, there's a scene coming up later where you can see, I guess they're kind of panning around George as he's trying to show a zombie how to walk, and you can see all the people standing on the escalator, and you can see all the people standing along the railing. How fucking cool would it have been to be one of those people up there?
Well, I hear
that'd be so
stories
awesome.
from people
Absolutely.
like Mike Ankus, when I had him on, was talking about like, oh yeah, I was there when they were filming, but I didn't have anything to do with it. I was just local to the area, and I heard they were shooting this
Yeah.
movie in the mall, and I went and visited one night. And I hear that from people all the time. It's like, oh yeah, we were, you know, I used to work in the mall, and I remember standing there watching them film one night. You know.
Yeah. It
By
was
the
like
way,
this
I think-
communal thing.
I think this might have been my first, because the first version of this I saw was the Synapse DVD. It was actually the first DVD that thank God my dad bought for me, like, you know, in the 90s, later
It's a good
90s
dad.
or something.
It's a good
and
dad.
Yeah, no, he knew it was up, but this is all his fault, by the way, that I'm into this stuff. But he was awesome. He took me to Evans City and he took me to Monroeville as a kid and all the rest of it. But
That's cool. That's cool.
yeah, it was amazing. But This is actually the first time I think I saw Martin.
Same here.
Martin.
This was my
Same.
first introduction to Martin
me too,
too.
yeah.
This was before I saw it. This is how I saw these clips, and I was like, "Yeah, I got to see this thing, man."
Yeah,
So-
Lee's saying it's true. There's an urn in the front window display. So
Wow.
Yeah.
that's
Well, I'll know to
awesome.
look for that the next time I'm up there. So
It's an interesting thing to have on display, but it makes total sense
Yeah.
for something like Vinegar Syndrome.
Very cool.
I'm
they
definitely
do-
gonna,
they
I'm
do
definitely
have
gonna have to go there
numerous-
this year.
there's a picture, there's a piece of a painting or something of George in the window, and I believe they
I've
have
seen
a
that.
dark half one sheet up. On
Yeah, it's the dark
right
half one
side.
sheet. Yeah, that's what I've seen there. Through photos.
And they just released some merch too with like Vinegar Syndrome Pittsburgh, and it's got a very Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
I think you guys saw it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I love the way in this stuff here. It kind of goes back and forth. It shows you a page from the screenplay, and then shows you what's actually on screen and how it correlates. And I'm
Yeah.
just like seeing that as a teenager was just like,
Oh yeah.
oh, the magic. Like, there is no
Yeah.
magic, as Martin would say. This is just how it's done. There's the movie magic.
Yeah.
You write it down, you film it. What you write down, you film it. You know.
I'm like you, Michael. I think the first time I saw this, man, it was like this. It was mind blowing, and it still. I told you guys, it gets me amped up watching this film when I hear it, because it's just if you're not working in film, but anybody who's like, if you're writing scripts or writing a book or anything, I don't know, just the creativity and the ingenuity that goes into. Again, his form of filmmaking was just from the ground up, and it just.
Yeah.
I just really appreciated. I think the first time I met George at a convention or something was in the I told you, Michael, was in the late 90s, 97, I think. And I'm like this little kid, and I just thank you. I think I told him, thank you for what you've done for independent film. Like this little, I'm like a 7th grader or something. Like what did I know? Nothing at the time, but it was, but it was watching this stuff, man. It was like, you said it exactly.
It
right.
opens
It's
your
like,
eyes to what it
It
is,
is a
you
film
know?
school. It is.
Because we all grew up, like, if you love movies, you grew up loving, Schwarzenegger movies, or
Yeah.
you grew up watching Hollywood stuff, and then like once you discover this type of stuff, you're like, this is
Yeah.
the stuff that makes you think like, oh, I could do this. Like,
Yeah.
it's not,
I told you before, like, man, Night of the Living
Yeah.
Dead made me want to make movies just because you could see how they made the film and all this whole thing, right? It's like
Mhm.
you can see the way they're breaking this down. It's interesting. They go into, like, I think we talked about it before, but they go into it later about boarding. Did George? I don't think he heavily boarded his stuff.
No,
Or I never
he
got
didn't.
that feeling.
They always said he was in it, he kept it in his head, and he knew what he wanted and what what it was supposed to look like, and then that's how that's why him and Gornick worked so well together, because Gornick just
Right.
kind of understood George's style and
Well,
George's language. They spoke the same language,
Right.
because of his editorial background was so sharp as well, that he was,
Yeah, he
when
knew
you're,
what
when
was
you're
gonna
on
cut to
set,
what,
you're on
yeah.
location, you're thinking about what you need, which is
Yeah,
I think he talks about
love-
the whole cover your ass style, right?
Yeah,
With shooting a lot of material so it's all clay later. I think he says something like
Yeah.
that.
I love watching the stuff where him and Frumkes are just walking around the
I
mall.
was just gonna say
And
that.
just-
Me too. And just to think that we're gonna be there wandering around the same way.
I
Sure.
know.
You find yourself
I love that.
trying to
It's-
spot the different stores in the background, like,
Yeah.
oh,
That's what I'm like doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the Hallmark stand.
Yeah.
You can see the person with someone's holding a light too. You can kind of see how the light is drifting. It's awesome.
Have you ever seen a movie of Morgan Stewart coming home with John Cryer?
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
You know what scene I'm going to bring up, don't you?
No, go ahead.
When he goes and he sees George Romero.
Oh, what the book signing? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
not
they-
really
so they-
George. It's the
So
back
they
of somebody's
don't.
head.
Yeah, it's some dude like
Yeah.
80 pounds lighter than what George was. Some skinny dude.
Yeah, yeah. John Cryer is wearing one of those Day of the Dead, the blue promo
Yeah.
Day of the Dead
Oh,
shirts.
yeah.
It's really cool. Yeah, huge Romero fan, and like the movie opens on a poster of Fulci's zombie,
Yeah.
and then I
yeah.
think he's got a Dawn poster on the wall, and maybe
Yeah,
he's
he
got the
does.
UK quad. He's got the UK
Quad,
quad of
big one,
night
yeah.
on the wall, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
I
First
haven't
time I
watched that yet, but I found it for like $1 on VHS.
Oh,
here
dude, it's
recently, and I
terrible.
still bought it.
It's
But
terrible.
I had
It's
to
one of
have it
those.
because I remember. I think it was. I heard it from you, Ed. I think you were the first one to mention it, like in the chat or something like that. I was like, I've never even heard of this thing.
Well,
You're
I
like, you
watched.
gotta
Yes.
check it out.
Well, I watched it to see George because it was just some dude from the back. That's all you saw, and it was
Yeah.
clearly not. He was like 80 pounds lighter than George was. He does a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those Alan Smithy films where the director was like,
Uh-oh.
"Nah, fuck this, I'm out."
Yeah. It's basically a Ferris Bueller ripoff, is what it is.
Yeah, it's exactly
That's kind
what
of
it
the
was.
vibe that I got just looking at it. But it's still a cool concept.
It's cool to watch. It's cool to spot stuff.
Now,
I think
previous
we've
to
just
previous to this, George redo that many interviews.
not.
before-
No, I don't think not to this. Not on
Not-
camera to this level.
Yeah, not to
right?
this
Yeah.
level, I don't think. I mean, he would do
So-
like some magazine interviews here and there, like for some of the,
Yeah.
the genre magazines, but yeah, not a ton. But I mean, nobody was really looking to talk to him all that much before this, because for most people, they didn't really. I mean, he did Night of the Living Dead, but it really wasn't promoted as George Romero directed Night of the Living Dead as much until Rubenstein came into the picture and was like, George, you directed Night of the Living Dead. We should
There you
use
go.
this. We
Hell
should
yeah.
use this.
Thank
This
you.
is
Well,
this is promotional. This is promotional value here.
Well, I think it's kind of known too that George had sort of started to flounder a little bit before he met Richard, right? So I mean, like you said, nobody
yeah.
really wanted to talk to him.
Yeah, Richard said he was in deep shit's what he said. So
Yeah,
He was.
yeah. There you
Well,
go.
financially, I think, which is part of
Yeah.
the interesting story. If anybody knows making independent films and how quickly you go into debt trying to do that, if I don't know how, well, with the business, I guess with Latent Image at that point, Rubenstein helped reinvent all of that for George, or just make
Yeah.
it more
Oh, yeah.
viable. So
he needed that business mind, because George was not a businessman at all. He was an artist. He needed that straight-laced businessman like Richard to come in and
he needed somebody to build the box that George worked in.
exactly.
No, I mean, man, it's easy to criticize Richard for, the film's not out, and I totally get it, but we owe so much to him for being that
100%,
person
yeah.
to spearhead and
Yeah.
get George out there and at the time, because
Well,
he
and
made
he
his best
talks-
work. He made his best work, man. That run of films that they made with the UFD
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
contract, like that's we'll really never be in a time like that again in terms of that period of filmmaking, which is
Anybody
why we all
remember-
go back to these films so much.
Anybody remember this movie Magic on the Discovery Channel? The Dawn Day episode was the best one. I don't remember that. I've never seen that.
And I've never seen that either.
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Sounds familiar, but I can't even picture it in my head.
Hmm.
Well,
I'll
hey.
have to look that up. Matthew
Yeah,
saying it's on YouTube.
People give Richard a lot of shit, but he even talks about it himself later on in this, that he talking about George's sort of artistic freedom to do what he wanted to do and how he was allowed the autonomy to do that.
Yeah.
He says something
Yeah.
like, "Provide George a brush palette and canvas."
Yeah, that's
which
really
is
cool.
So man, just those are the dream words of any as a filmmaker,
Imagine.
for a producer to say that. It's
Well,
'cause they're not
Frumkes
all
is
like that.
Frumkes talked about that. Dead Pit did an interview with Roy Frumkes years ago. I sent you the link to that, Eric.
Right.
And he talks about that. He just, that was the most fascinating thing to him, was because it's not how it usually works. Where
No.
he Frumkes made a point to say that typically the producer director relationship is fairly adversarial most of the
Yeah.
time, whereas in this, the producer was working for the director in terms of like, these are the boundaries. As long as you stay in these boundaries, you can do whatever you want to do. And that's a very European way of making films, which was not common in the US. So that was the thing that really stood out to Frumkes when he was making this, was that it was, not normal in the US for films to be made this way. Whereas in Europe, it's like the producer is like, oh, my maestro, what can I get for you? The director is the king, and the producer is there to do whatever the director says, where it's like the opposite in the US.
If memory serves, didn't Richard have his own family put in money to finance the movie?
I think you're right. I
He
think
said
I've
so-
heard him talk about
he
on
said
the
a-
commentary.
An uncle or something put in like 25 grand or something.
A family member, I think, did. I might be confusing whether it was Martin or Dawn, but
Yeah, I don't remember.
somebody
I'm pretty sure on the Dawn commentary he said for this movie here,
yeah.
one of his relatives from South America put in like 25 grand or something like that.
I know
Well, just to
Herbert
have-
Steinman was one of the financiers, and of course his son Danny Steinman would go on to make the best Friday the 13th movie, Part 5.
Part 5.
Yeah.
there you go.
We should
So
do a
you
commentary on
say.
that one
So
day.
you say.
Oh, I'd be down. I love
love
Part
Part
5.
Five.
Yeah, Marco, we got to do that. Yeah.
But George was so, just so lucky to, I think, for that partnership because, yeah, the most difficult thing for any independent filmmaker is tackling financing. I mean, there's so many films that, there's so much that doesn't get made,
Speaking of, there they are together, George and Richard.
I know.
George, it's like he's like his bodyguard. Richard's standing there with his glasses on, hands on his hip, just like here's Richard. Here he's talking about it's very European style. Yeah.
Was Richard or George talk about this documentary themselves, what they thought of it when it was finished? Did they say anything about it?
I don't remember hearing much about their thoughts on it.
think of that
I would be surprised if they ever saw it. Like maybe George
Yeah.
at some point probably saw it, but I would be very surprised if Richard ever actually watched this
Well,
documentary.
remember he let it be inside the box set, so surely he had to at least okay it, or so it wouldn't have been in there.
Sure.
Towards the end of this film, there's a great moment where they kind of let the raw audio. Richard says something like, "Here, I'm going to give you something else," and it's like this. He's just he's making all these points, and it's kind of an unedited moment. It's just kind of interesting. I don't know. I really like it though. You just kind of hear like his enthusiasm a bit for making the points. They're really driving home that. Because we're in such a different era now of independent filmmaking. Everybody's, you could make a movie on your phone if you wanted to, right?
Mhm.
So everybody's back then, it's George says something like that in this film, which I always really landed with me is like developing a style takes you really have to work with the gear. He says something like that. You have to work. And back then,
it's not
very
like working with a
expensive.
canvas and a paintbrush. You kind of
Right.
you have to have the
You have to
hardware.
pay
That's
for
what he
all
said,
of this film, and it took a lot of money just to get started. Back then. So it was just the whole medium of filmmaking was so different then.
Well, like
but there's
George
still
said,
so much you can learn from it.
like George said, Dennis Hopper's cigar budget was enough to make a movie back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean,
The entire budget of Night of the Living Dead was
Yeah, pretty
cigar
much.
budget. Yeah.
Now we get the production. And another thing I love about this too, and you can really see it shining, and it's really, really obvious when you see like the second version of Document of the Dead.
That shot of the mall, I love it. I was just gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
I
That
always
shot. Beautiful.
It's just one of the best. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just
No, you're
gonna be like,
good.
I love that shot.
It's what was I saying? Oh, the
second
difference,
version.
The difference between George in the second version, how he is in his interviews for Dawn of the Dead compared to how he is by the time he gets to Two Evil Eyes. You can feel the level of confidence and assuredness that he has when he was making Dawn of the Dead as compared to by the time he gets to Two Evil Eyes, he just kind of looks like a defeated man. He's just kind of like, I don't know what
you
the
think
fuck.
about
like,
the period. The period he was in at that point. I don't know. It's such a.
And it's sad because it was about to get even worse. The 90s were around the corner, and it was about to,
Hey, he made millions of dollars in the 90s though.
He did. He made plenty of money, but
I think there's so much to, as you guys well know, the fact that he, towards the end of the 90s made Bruiser and it was sort of a micro budget Martin-esque movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like what it was.
But it turned out
I think
great.
that really, to me, it always said, it felt like George probably even though Martin's such a brilliant film, I feel like part of why this is just a theory on my part, but that may have been his favorite because it was like a small crew. They were all 110% in it. They were all, everyone was just in sync.
Mhm.
And it just felt like,
Oh, yeah.
that's what you live for, man. When you're making films, that's that camaraderie and working with, he was just, those guys were at their peak at that point.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's
Just
where
look-
all those
look up
players
here.
showed up. Booba and Gornick.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
where everybody sort of came together. Is real
That
true
set the
guerrilla
stage for
filmmaking.
this film, man.
Yeah.
Like that set
Absolutely.
the stage for Dawn.
He had his core, and then he felt comfortable expanding the budget, expanding the crew, expanding the cast. And you see him on set here in these, these shots here, and he just looks like total control, fucking
Because
zoned in the zone.
making a movie with your friends,
Yeah,
That's what, and that, man, it is liberating, that feeling, because it's so hard. It really is so hard to find people who it isn't about ego or about, because unfortunately, this industry attracts people who just want to make it about themselves and not about the story. And it's like when you find people who just want to make a good movie,
Well, it's
that's
also
so
a bunch
amazing.
of local Pittsburgh people
Right.
too. It's not like they're in Hollywood and they're just going to go find another job somewhere else and fuck you. It's
Right.
it's like we're working together because we're all in this together. Like
Right.
we got to make this work because this is our thing. This is our scene. That's
why I love George's. That's why so many people love George's work. But again, I said Night of the Living Dead, but just in general, just watching this was like first introduction to George's craft, and also just the independence of working in somewhere way outside of Hollywood, which was great. Like I never wanted to, even though I went there for the work, because we're in a different era in terms of all of that. At least when I did it 20 years ago, it's like one of those things that like, this is what I always was, attracted to, making films outside of that bubble,
Yeah. This is what you always wanted to do. This is what, like when I was younger, when I was a kid making movies with my cousins and friends, and this is what I wanted. It was like, all right, we're hanging out. Like in high school, everybody else hangs out on the weekends and they get drunk or they do this or do that. We all hang out and we make movies, and it's like we're cooler than them because we're doing something cooler than just fucking sitting around getting drunk in a field somewhere. We're making art, and
Well, you should have done
that
both.
was me.
You should have done
You wish
both.
that
You should have done both. Make a drunk movie.
I've tried that. It doesn't work. You you can't get serious with a bunch of drunk fucking people. It's just like, this ain't gonna work.
Didn't you say you went and shot inside a mall or something?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you guys show me this at some point, man. I never went to a mall, but I went to many graveyards for sure.
Oh yeah, we did the graveyard, but the mall, it was a local mall that we went to all the time. So everybody that worked there knew who we were. So us running around with a camera pretending to fucking steal shit, they were just like, they're playing, who cares?
Yeah.
So nobody, at one point, the dude did fucking
That's cool.
Peebles or whatever. The guy who worked there, one of the managers, was just like, hey, if you need to take that out of the store, just bring it back when you're done. And we're just like, okay. So we took some clothes and we changed wardrobe and fucking left, shot some other stuff, came back, brought it back to the store, and the dude was like, all right, see you later.
I will say, like, it's like working in a regional filmmaking. Let's call it that. There's something about being in a small town and making this type of thing that you just gonna get away with murder, man. You can get away with it because people want to do it.
Foreign to them.
People want to do it and
Yeah.
want to contribute, and there's just, again, it's liberating. So I'm sure George experience, having obviously he worked professionally in making commercials and everything that he had done up to this point, but the fact that he was able to cultivate all of that into
That's the first time.
Incredible.
I'm sorry. That's the first time I've ever seen how a blood hit is done. A rubber.
Oh yeah,
firework.
This is how I learned about squibs. Yeah,
A rubber and a firework.
and I made plenty of those when we were younger.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
You
let
did
me-
the
let me-
homemade
Oh, yeah.
squibs and stuff.
oh yeah, let me
I
take
did
this
too.
to you. Just be still. But now you can even see here, like this was Savini before, he was Tom Savini. I mean, nobody knew who he was,
Yeah.
but you could see
Right.
here his charisma and the way that he could
His
capture the
energy.
camera. Yeah, the energy, and it's just It's crazy to think that like all these people were just happened to be in Pittsburgh at this time. You know, Savini, Gornick, Romero, all
Yeah.
coming together for this, and it's just like.
That's what I mean.
You know?
It's just like it's a moment in time that, like, if anything, like, just so grateful this exists because they were able to capture all of this material
Yeah.
at the time. I wish he could have done one of these for all of George's films.
Oh yeah.
Well, he tried.
Yeah.
I think he tried. He got quite a bit of quite a few of them.
Did Roy Frumkes try to go to? I wondered about like Day. Did he try to go down and continue?
Well, the story that Roy tells about Day, he was planning on it, but he remembered at the time he had the conversation with George, and George was very bothered and upset by the fact that he kept having to cut his script back and the budget was
Sure.
getting scaled back.
I
And
bet.
Roy, he said that he just felt at the time that it probably wasn't the best environment to go into because he felt like George was going to be really stressed out. It just seemed like George was not in the right headspace or something like that. So he decided against going to do for Day, and then he looks back on it now and he's like, well, what I fucked up there because that was George talks about that's his favorite movie because that was the best time he ever had on a set.
Yeah.
And he was like, I wish I would have
but
been there for
man,
that.
yeah, your perspective when you're plan. It was a completely different film, as we all know. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
But at the
it's,
time, I mean, you can imagine the studio because George had to, scale that screenplay back 3 or 4 different times. For the studio, just like, yeah, we can't do that. We can't do that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So yeah, I can imagine George was stressed out.
I want to get my hands on an actual shooting script. The script they shot. I'd love to read. I'm sure you guys have it. I have a second draft when he was trying to will it down, but it's closer to the original.
It's funny. I've never actually read the actual shooting script for Day, but I've read the original or one of the originals.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, it's sort of the original script is pretty accessible, but the actual shooting script, I'd just be curious to read
such
that.
Legend at this point. Steven says, I've often written that I wish George could have worked with in Italian films more. Not that there's no problems, but I believe he could have not only made horror films, but so many other genres as well. That's true. He could have been like a Fulci or a Bava and done action movies, comedies. They're a little more loose with it. They don't really typecast quite as much over there back then.
No, it is true. The market they're working in the States is a completely different ball game in terms of film finance, and especially then, like, yeah, it would have been interesting if
Larry's in here. Larry, do you know who that girl is? That I mean, she worked on this crew, but is she still around? Is this the narrator, Susan Tyrell? The girl who gets the pie in the face, Susan Tyrell.
By the way, her voice is great for this. It's so great.
Yeah.
There's something about it that, of course, she has a whole career. Susan
It's like it's like she just finished chain smoking
100
cigarettes and she's just sitting in a dark room with a microphone.
No, but it's awesome though.
But it's drinking water. Yeah,
it's not a traditional narrator voice. It works so well for it.
Yeah,
Daniel
she probably did.
She
probably did smoke a pack of cigarettes.
Oh, probably. I mean, everybody was back
that
then.
time. Yeah, we should play a drinking game that whenever you don't see George with a cigarette in his hand, you take a shot.
we all be smashed by now.
Ahead of you.
Yeah.
And here's the mattresses. I want to do that so bad, but I can never find enough mattresses and boxes.
I told Larry on his last tour of the mall, we're gonna set up boxes and some mattresses, and he needs to do the jump. He's got to do the jump.
Everybody sign a waiver.
Yeah. It's like
I'm gonna need to get a shot of that for sure.
Instead of a photo op, you get to jump off the balcony type of thing.
Oh,
That'd be a hell of a photo op. You going,
That is yes. That is
have Angela at the bottom. Just take your picture. As midair.
Here comes the cigarette.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
Never fails. I just want to get on the roof. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Actually, he's lucky a little bit further.
One
Hit
way
that
or
car.
another. Yeah. Well, yeah, here's what they're talking about.
This is what I wanted to ask about. Yeah, these storyboards here. So these are just...
I think these are just like random storyboards.
Right, these are ones that Roy brought in. Yeah, okay.
One of the interesting things, though, that Roy brings up is when he said that by the time he got to set, what they were shooting, he said the screenplay, I mean, he points it out in this, was like 250 pages long. So it's like they got to be really, but he said by the time they got there, they were just shooting a bunch of shit that wasn't in the screenplay. They'd already covered everything, and they were just doing extra stuff like the pie fights and extra effects and stuff like that. And he was just blown away by that. And he was just like, how can you shoot a 250-page screenplay and then have extra money and time to do extra stuff on top of that? He was just, it is pretty amazing.
Again, it's I think just the camaraderie again, and they all were just in it 110%. So it's like the fact that they had all the extra film, though, right? That they could just be like, we'll just continue.
And it says a lot about George's style of directing. It was like the anti-Kubrick. Like George would never do he would do more than 2 or 3 takes of something before he would just get bored and be like, all right, we got it. Fuck it. Let's go something else. And if it doesn't work, I'm editing it. It's, I'll do something else with it, Where Kubrick will do like 100 takes of something and go with, the first or second take,
I remember it didn't, Lenny Lees say too in the Second Sight Zombies and Bikers doc. I remember he said something like he was one of 3 people, and they gave him an Airflex, and he was running around the mall just filming zombies, like quick pickup shots of stuff. Like they were just grabbing, like during all these chaotic biker scenes,
Oh yeah.
Let's just go around and just film all this, B-roll or inserts and stuff. It was just
well, it was so chaotic. It was literally a bike gang riding through the mall. So they just had to get everything they could get. I mean, that's why that's why you could see so many like light stands and stuff in the background during those shots, because they were literally just hanging on by the seat of their pants, just shooting as much as they could,
Yeah, because it's like complete pandemonium. But it works so well,
Yeah, just grab what you can.
Larry says the girl with the pie in the face and red robe is Suki Raphael, assistant to Roy and eventually longtime assistant to Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson. Interesting. I did not know that. Awesome. Get her Live a Dead Weekend. What the hell?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say.
Never mind. Lee Carr just said she passed away.
Lee Carr comes in with the somber news that she'd passed away 5 years ago. Damn.
Sorry, yeah.
What is everybody talking about? The Diary of the Dead video game? Is that a thing? I've never heard of that.
Was it like a PC game or like something that somebody created themselves? I think.
Well, there's the Land of the Dead video game, or I guess people are just asking about all kinds of video games now. Night of the Living Dead video game, Dawn of the Dead video game. Yes, we all wish these were real things, but unfortunately, we just got that Land of the Dead video game, which, is what it is.
We need a creep show video games. What we need.
Yeah.
We have the marble ashtray going around just hitting people with it, like Grand Theft Auto, but crypto.
I still say like Dawn of the Dead lends itself to a video game so well. Like the movie plays out like a video game. Like literally, it's different missions. It's like hotwire the car, block the entrances, clean up the zombies, go on a hunt. The bikers invade. We gotta,
needs to be like an 8-bit Atari game though.
Yeah. Sega Genesis. Yeah.
These are like extended interviews with John here.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff is not in that second cut that I'm.
Yeah, there's extra stuff with John.
Yeah,
there's some extra stuff with Imgi and Foray, I think.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite quotes in this, I don't know if we've missed it or not. I don't think we have. I haven't seen it. But when Scotty is like talking about the scene in the apartment complex, and he ends it, he's like, "It's definitely not boring," and just has that look on his face.
Yeah. That kind of makes you wonder what all Roy filmed that we haven't seen yet.
There's another SIG.
I wonder. He said he was there.
Oh yeah. It never.
He said he was there for a few weeks. So
see the clock tower in the background.
I was thinking that too.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to go back and see that thing and the Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Does the mall have the same handrails as they did back then?
No, they've changed those out too.
Yeah. Ed, you haven't been yet, have you?
Store.
No, sir. I think it's changed so much. I kind of want to like let it be here.
No, man, you still got to go.
You could go for you could get your picture in the sidecar.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
But I'm gonna be up there thinking, man, I want to jump off this on some mattresses so badly.
I just want to
might
jump
have-
from the second floor to the first floor so badly.
I might just leave a note saying, please, I will not sue you. I'm just gonna do this.
You might as well tie a, swing like Tasso.
Look, just it's my way of thinking at this point. What are they going to do? Tell you never come back?
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I'm just-
right.
Wait till October so you don't fuck
You're
over
banned.
any other LDWs.
Yeah, it's
Like-
Wait till October.
wait
Like,
until
Wait
you know
till October. Yeah.
So what we're
I'm
gonna
just-
do, Mike? You're
yeah.
gonna bring some bolt cutters, and when we go on Larry's tour that Sunday, we're gonna sneak up that staircase to the roof. Remember last year when we saw it? So we were
Oh,
planning
yeah.
ahead.
Oh yeah,
See,
we
we're
know.
thinking ahead. We were planning
We'll get
ahead.
up
So
there.
we're gonna get up there. We're gonna cut that lock and get on the
We're
roof.
gonna
man.
be
I'm
like
just
we're gonna be
kidding.
like just wild toddlers. We're just gonna get up on the roof and just
Yeah.
run around frantically for a few minutes and then
just like really quickly
We're
and then jump back.
here.
Larry, we're joking, by the way. Please, we're kidding.
Now, what you do is go buy a security uniform shop, buy security uniforms, get a badge. Nobody will ever question you no matter where you go. They'll say, oh,
The
yeah,
sec-
he works here.
A lot of the security that works there now, I don't even think they'd give a shit. They're just like,
yeah.
eh.
Like I said, bring him some pizza, bring him some donuts. They'll let you do whatever.
Yeah.
It's worth a shot.
That's how you get inside the Day of the Dead mind. Bring donuts to security guards.
I don't know. I've heard that security's pretty strict because it's filled with people's shit.
Yeah.
RVs and vehicles and all kinds of stuff.
Oh
so,
yeah. You talking about the Wampa mines?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wampus,
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't. Yeah, they're
Just
airtight.
rent some space.
Has anybody?
I thought
here,
about that.
I thought about that
I know.
too. I was like,
Seriously. Yeah,
I
I thought
know,
about,
I
hey,
thought
look,
about
I've
it
got an
too.
RV. Can
No,
I
I
come
thought
check
about
out
it
your
too. I live
space?
here.
And then, of course, I walk in with a fucking Day of the Dead shirt taking pictures. Yeah, I've got an RV.
See, you keep that under like a button-up shirt, like one of Mike's 4,000 flannels, and then you just open it up and take your pictures.
There you go.
Mark Tierno was telling me that he like semi recently got in there, like a friend of his had, like, I guess was renting a space there or something, and he went back there and was just in the mind that he was that, he was excited to go down there. So you guys have to ask him about that, but I thought that was funny. I would love
So
to do
Carl
that. Love to
Carl
go.
Augenstein. We haven't talked about Carl Augenstein yet. Little
Yeah.
Augie here.
Great
One of
hat.
those. Yeah, one of the best hats in this whole thing.
An unsung hero, because imagine lighting this
Absolutely.
space, right?
Yeah.
Didn't
Which
Vulo talk to him
I-
on the phone?
Do what?
Didn't Vulo recently talk to him on the phone?
I think
Was it
so.
a
I think I
Vulo?
remember John saying that.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
last year sometime.
Yeah.
I remember hearing the story. I think he kind of had a bit of a falling out with a lot of the people that worked on this. Because people, from some of the recollections I've heard from different people, he was a bit of a diva
Mm.
to the point where even
That
for
hat might
Document of
put
the
it-
Dead, Frumkes talked about he was the only guy who demanded to be paid to be a part of the
Yes.
documentary.
Oh,
Wait,
that's
we
too
had-
bad.
Well, he had to afford the hat. That's why.
Well, that's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, those trendy '70s threads. Yeah, you got that shit's not free, but that's a guy that I would just love to get to a Living Dead week. And I've talked to Larry about that before, and Larry's tried, or because him and Liz together, and it's. But just a guy that is there for everything, and I'd love to hear some of his stories and recollections. But from what I've heard, he's just kind of out of the scene, out of the loop, and not really that interested. So
Money would change his mind.
I say he was
Seems
making-
like
he-
Enough,
he's still
enough,
working.
enough, enough money would.
Is he still working in the industry, or is he
I
retired?
don't think so. I
Retired.
don't
Okay.
think so.
You know, one
Everybody's movie-
thing.
like everybody's movies, what, 75, 80 by now?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say, related to lighting, it's one of the things I actually was asking Mike Gornick back in June about
Speak of the devil, there he is.
what lenses did they use on Dawn specifically, right? And he had told me Zeiss, super speeds, and he mentions here Zeiss Distagon lenses, which are stills lenses. They're actually not I may be wrong here. I don't know if there are cine versions of those lenses, but I just thought that was really interesting. I think Mike told me that they rented them from New York or something, because I was like, where do you still have them? But they're prime lenses, So, but he says in here they opened to 1.4, which is really fast. So, that would mean a lot in terms of lighting the space. So, it's just awesome that, again, they just had, that they had all of, by this point, they were so used to probably working with the same hardware, I don't know if they, if Laurel owned their own, that lens kit or what. But
yeah, that's a good question.
I need to ask. I would love to talk to Mike in depth about some of the you never hear him talk about any of those things, specifics.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would.
About camera, about the usage of lenses and the lighting and just the work he did with George. I mean, it's just all of that stuff is such a huge part of it that you never hear about.
Larry's saying never tried to get him. Vulo said he's not well enough for travel. There you go.
Okay.
Which is sadly a story with a lot of the people involved. Another one that I would love to meet is Zilla Clinton. I'd love if she would make it to a living domain. But again, it's the same story. I've heard she's not in the best of health either. So
yeah.
I briefly met her at George when after George passed, they had out in LA, they had it was in Glendale. They had this sort of like a screening of Creepshow. It was like this, VIP party. It was unfortunately not like that well attended, but a buddy of mine and I went out there, and he had and Pat Booba was there, just standing there talking to us for a while. And my buddy is from Pittsburgh, and he was just had been talking to Pat, but I know Zilla was there.
She was married to Pat.
Yeah,
all those years
that's
before he
right.
passed away,
Yeah. But super nice. I didn't know her at all. I don't want to mischaracterize it, but Pat Booba was super nice guy. Super, super nice guy.
Runs in the family, I guess.
I was just gonna say that.
Those boobas.
Just talking to him about editing too, just
oh yeah.
He had been through so many different I believe he was telling me about just the different programs he was working in the 90s, and from how they cut, Day of the Dead and Creepshow and Monkey Shines, all that stuff, industry.
I always wonder how George would have adapted if he would have continued to edit his own stuff, how he would have adapted throughout the decades. I feel like George was just a guy that's like, he would have edited fucking Land of the Dead on that same Beck that he's using in this if he could. He's like, we're just gonna
big.
I wish he did.
Dawn of the Dead was shot. It was interesting because Dawn of the Dead was shot in 35 millimeter and then brought down to 16 to be edited, which was very unusual and very rare at the time. And then they would blow it back up to 35. But that's how George edited. That's how he liked to work. So
can you imagine Land of the Dead
talking about it
being shot in 1985 or something? It would be a completely different. It would have been an interesting film. Let's just put it. If it had been done that way, it would just, again, so many of these films are the product of the era they were made in. I think a lot of our nostalgia and the reason we love so many of these things, like if you made Dawn of the Dead today, it just wouldn't be the same type of, I mean, not that you couldn't make a good film, you certainly could. It certainly wouldn't be the same film.
Well, I think Land of the Dead in 1985 would have been the original Day idea.
Yeah,
because I know a lot of that idea transferred over to Land.
It is, yeah.
But then again, people might have said it was just a Mad Max ripoff at that point.
Yeah. Well, that's what Lori always talked about. She thought that's what she kind of thought reading the screenplay. She thought it was going to be, kind of like a Mad Max type of movie. And George was like, "That's not that type of movie, Lori."
The original Day script wasn't it like
right.
the governor of Florida or something? I believe it was sort of the Dennis Hopper character. Yeah,
Escuela or something. I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah.
I liked it. I thought that would have been awesome. But I love the film we did get, though. I also this is an interesting. Where they're talking about spatial design. I always thought this was kind of an interesting sort of. Right here, we're looking at this point. It's like a kind of an interesting observation that I'm trying to hear what George says. But it's just an interesting observation I never would have really thought about. Like they say, like one of the most celebrated shots in Night is this. Like it is a great shot, but it's like
Absolutely.
it feels very. It probably was. You wonder if they really planned it that way.
Right. Almost
know?
as reveal. Yeah.
And it costs nothing to do as well.
So many things in Night of the Living Dead that are just brilliant accidents that they could,
Yeah, you can get the soundtrack for Day and Dawn on CD and vinyl and cassette, I believe. So check your local eBay.
Yeah. The world inside your eyes.
God.
No, we're not. No.
You could even get that single on 45 if you want. But-
Yeah, can we do a karaoke night at Living Dead?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm ready.
I'm down. You get enough Iron
I'll do
Cities
if
in me,
tomorrow
I'll-
comes.
yeah.
If tomorrow comes, I'm gonna go deep track.
I love this shot following George down the
This
escalator.
is
is-
music
oh, right.
cue.
Yeah, my
Beautiful.
favorite shot.
This
And then
music
this whole
cue
thing.
with like the harp under this.
Yep.
Oh, it's beautiful
Yeah,
here.
beautiful.
I know. Yeah, it really is.
And that quick view of the ice palace.
Yeah. There he is doing the zombie walk. Yeah.
But yeah, that shot that you were talking about earlier, Eric, I don't think that I've ever heard anybody actually speak of it besides this. But I would like to attribute that to George's technique. I would like to believe that was his idea to do that it wasn't an accident.
Well, it's probably John Russo's idea, you know.
No,
It's
I'm
probably-
He'll tell you
sure.
it is. He'll tell you.
Just ask him.
It really is a jarring shot. You know, it's sort of, you see the zombie holding his face, and then he steps to the side and sort of reveals everything
Well, that's
behind
the-
it.
Well,
That's
it
the
is.
thing
They
about this
s-
documentary. It's the first time that it was ever actually brought to my attention. Like you see Night of the Living Dead, I think especially when you were younger and you just watched them for what they were, but watching this documentary and having it explained to me the idea of spatial design in that way,
Right.
I remember trying to recreate that shot in a lot of my little movies back in the day of just like, okay, you're going to back out of the shot and then behind you other stuff's going to be happening. This is what introduced me to that whole concept. So again, like
Yeah.
watching this back in the day, I used to watch this on fucking repeat.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
studying it, of like trying to,
Me too, yeah. But it's like they say, the narrator says something about it being like a vision of doom or something. They use the word doom in there, but it's true in terms of like revealing all, like there's more, because up at that point, right, you saw maybe one or two zombies,
Right.
but
yeah.
so then you reveal like, oh man, there's like a whole crowd of, several of them coming forward. But it's
But in a remake, it's kind of
Oh,
different.
this is where
She
Scott's
discovers
talking
when he's
about
running.
yeah.
this is it.
the apartment scene.
Yeah, Night 90 though, the spatial we're talking about is different because she recognizes we just walk straight through them. The space out enough, the slow, walk straight through them. To get the different aspects of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riveted to the sea. I like that.
It's too bad Galen didn't get interviewed for this too.
Yeah, I wonder why she wasn't involved.
Oh yeah.
She was learning how to ice skate.
She was busy at the ice palace trying to learn how to ice skate. Yeah.
John Rice. I'm looking forward to meeting him this year.
Yeah.
Oh, he's really nice.
I'm really looking forward to getting to talk to Roy actually, because I actually haven't talked to him before.
I
Oh,
met
yeah.
him. I think I mentioned it to you. I met him a couple
Yeah.
years ago at Living Dead Weekend, but it was on a Sunday at like the end of the day.
Right.
And so you could kind of get the vibe that he was just ready to get the fuck out of Dodge because he was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of like. So I
Everybody's
just quickly got my shit signed and told him how much I love Documenting the Dead and how much it meant to me, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, thank you very much, thank you." And that was about it. So I didn't
He's
really
wrapping
really
up,
get
yeah.
to talk. Yeah,
So this time, yeah, you got to go like have a real
Yeah,
conversation
for
with
sure.
Yeah, because it's like you said, man. This film it's just, if we didn't have this, I mean, certainly it's great to have the films themselves, but just to have this at that time when this film was being made, just is such a, to document this process and highlight not even just about George, but just about independent filmmaking, making horror films in a regional,
Yeah.
in Pittsburgh. That's what made it just, Yeah, man. Like I said, it makes.
Well, I think
gets
that's
you
also. I
amped.
mean, it's the thing that separates this making of documentary compared to most any other making of documentary for a horror film or an independent film since is that it's an educational film more than
Right.
anything. It's the way that they're
Absolutely.
conveying this information to you. They're conveying it to you as if you already know about the filmmaking process and you're interested in the filmmaking process. They don't dumb any of this down for you for the general audience at all.
Yeah. God, I love this right here. Like looking at him cutting on the flatbed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And a great
Speaking,
great thing about sorry, Michelle, go ahead.
that's okay. I was just gonna say, speaking of Roy,
Yeah.
after I met him in 2022, my first Living Dead weekend, he had written some article for something about the Living Dead weekend, saying he hadn't been to the mall in 44 years. But he mentioned there's a note. I just was looking it up, and he said
He mentioned some
It's like-
asshole that came up to him as he was
No.
trying to leave on Sunday, and
a woman from Nova Scotia. He said a woman from Nova Scotia asked me to sign a poster from Dawn she brought along. Yeah, a man approached the table
Hey.
of memorabilia to sign, having come all the way from Spain. That was the way it went. I was impressed by their devotion. I mean, he got it
Aw.
wrong. I brought him my ultimate DVD to sign, but that's okay.
Uh,
It was
Hey.
still me he was talking about.
that's awesome.
That's cool.
I know. I was like, I can't remember how I found that after. Somebody said, "Oh, I think you just got mentioned," and I was like, "What?" Sorry
that's
about
pretty
my
cool.
pussy in the way as usual. She's late tonight. She's 2 hours in. Can't believe it.
If people
love-
weren't looking at the screen a second ago, they are now.
Yeah.
I know, right?
What?
Hey now. But as I was saying, the shots of George editing the movie was actually shot by Mike Gornick.
Oh, okay.
By the time that Roy had finished filming at the mall, he'd gone back to New York, needed some footage for the post-production aspect
B-roll.
of it, called Gornick to see if he could shoot some 16 millimeter stuff for him. And, you know, and of course, Gornick, would oblige and shot that stuff. And then George, just because it was for Roy, made sure that he was cutting Roy's scene just for the footage that
Sure.
was getting sent to
Oh, that's
Roy.
awesome.
And
That's
and
awesome.
Roy was always just tickled by that.
That's
He was like,
very,
it just goes to show
so
what kind of guy
thoughtful.
George was to go
Yeah.
out of his way to edit a certain. Because I mean, goddamn, you're editing on film. It's like it's a lot of work. So to specifically be doing
Yeah.
something for Roy just shows how much George loved Roy, and their friendship and stuff lasted throughout the years. I mean, like I
Mhm.
said, Roy ended up going onto the set of Survival and shooting there too. So
Mhm.
Wonder what
But
he
yeah,
thought of the
but
movie.
seeing him work on a flatbed like that really makes you respect the craft at that point. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah, and you
Look
got
at
a
this.
screen this.
Look at this.
You got a
Look at this
screen
right
this
here.
big.
now the
There
way
we
you
go.
edit on a computer now, it's like this. Back then, if you needed to make a cut, it was a whole. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
like it was like you were a car mechanic,
Mhm.
and somehow you had to
Oh,
do
yeah.
it just right so it didn't look like shit. It's amazing.
oh yeah, it's incredible.
But
art
George
form.
made it look easy. I remember seeing that when I was younger and seeing that. I'm like, oh, that looks easy. I tried to do that with a VHS tape once. It didn't quite work. I'll cut here and then tape it together, and then it's like, oh, well, that didn't work.
Said not quite. Yeah.
I saw a comment here. The Assassin of the Gray. What's up, man? It says Roy Frumkes, the student documentarian from the New York School of Visual Arts, was my screenwriting and film history instructor when I attended on the GI Bill. We discussed Don a lot. That's awesome.
That's
cool.
amazing.
Very
cool.
cool,
Very
man.
cool.
Anybody know the story on George's bracelet? Because it's a bold fashion statement in this. Whenever they show him in the close up.
You ever mentioned that earlier? Yeah.
Yeah.
George always had a thing for, and I kind of wear my watch the same way. I kind of just let it dangle down my arm a little bit, but he always had, even when he got older, always had either a watch or something right there on his forearm.
Yeah.
It's
Even
just
in his-
George's style, man.
Yeah. Even in his fisherman stage.
Oh yeah.
You guys know this this guy from Martin here in this scene. He's also an adult film star, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's about
yeah.
that commentary. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of those things I'd like to look on eBay for. Some Levitsky porn. That's what that would be a collector's item right there.
With your luck, you probably did guy scenes only.
Well, the thing is, it's like I think if I remember correctly, he tried to talk George into letting him film this sequence butt ass naked, and George was like,
Oh,
"Yeah,
wow.
maybe not do that."
Yeah.
But he's like, "But if we were in the
Glad they
middle
made
of
that decision.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I would have been okay with it.
I'm sure you would have.
Big Al."
Big Al.
Well, I mean, he could maybe knock Martin out with it.
Jesus Christ.
I do love this camera directly above. I don't know how they got that shot, by the way. This is a
Yeah.
great shot right here with George with the. This is. So this is some of the stuff that this is some of the stuff that Gornick shot. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the way he talks about laying in the tracks,
Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell that meant, or what the hell he was talking about when I first saw this. And then that's when you do your research. And you're like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
And it really goes into like when you talk about like the way he uses music and the library music and stuff like that was just so unlike anybody else at the time.
Yeah, I even in what I do day to day, we frequently use like temp music, or something just to get a flow going, and then you have to replace it. I mean, it happens on movies like even big movies now. Like they'll be, we'll get a feature in for something, and then we'll have music from something like soundtracks of classic films and stuff. That all.
And
that
I
stuff will be
wonder.
replaced.
I've never thought about this until now, actually, but I wonder if that's why George was always partial to working with library music, because it was something that he could edit to, that he could actually use in the film.
Makes sense.
Because he wouldn't want to give it up and be like, oh, well, now we got to replace it with this Goblin score.
Well, you get
let's just use.
You also
the
like
library stuff.
you get married to once you
right
if it's working and you don't have the budget for a composer to go in and do something custom, then
right.
And he probably, I'm sure the company probably owns.
And it is a weird. I don't know. Yeah, it does seem like as soon as George kind of found John Harrison and Donald Rubinstein with Night Riders, and he found those composers that could do what he had in mind, that's when he kind of gave up the editing job and just let Pat do it, where he was just like, so yeah, it kind of makes sense. I never thought of it that way.
I mean, the coach can't get in the game, throw the ball too. I mean,
yeah,
he could have. Hey, if he could, he would.
I wonder, that would be an interesting question to ask, even with like Creepshow and some of these, the 80s films, like, did they cut to temp, or did they cut that, did they have, because I know that hasn't Harrison talked about he was actually writing the score for Day, like downstairs or something, and running it upstairs. Yeah, they were talking about like he would score part of it to picture and bring that to George, who was working. Yeah, which is amazing to think of how that was done. But
I guess Larry did a comparison then and now photo of George coming down the escalator. He sent the link. Check it out. It's pretty awesome. Of course, Larry's done a comparison photo. Anything in the mall, Larry's going to cover every inch of that mall before it's over.
yeah,
He's determined.
Which is good. I'm glad.
Yeah, for sure. That's right, Assassin. Mike Ditka could do it. Ditka.
I want to say it was Phantasm Oblivion. When they were filming that, they used the Lost Highway soundtrack as placement while they were cutting that.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's the last one, right?
Oh well,
was that?
It was until Ravager.
Oh,
to a lot of people, it was.
Yeah, to a lot of people.
Sorry.
That was my last one. Yeah.
Oblivion was the 98 one. Yeah.
98. Yeah.
Yeah. 98. Yeah. You're right. I completely forgot about Ravager. Sorry.
I love just real quick. I love that Richard doesn't smoke cigarettes. He has like a little thin cigar because that's just his style. Yeah, a little cigarillo. That's just his style.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
I don't smoke
Probably-
cigarettes.
probably expensive too.
Oh yeah, it's the good shit. would cost less.
But then they're talking about just fighting for the cut,
Yeah.
fighting the
Now
censor.
this
and
probably
this
more
is
so
great
than
stuff.
anything, this stuff resonated with me when I was younger, of just like sticking to your guns, fighting for what you believe in. It's that punk rock mentality that I love George for. Was just
Yeah.
the way that the way he says here in a second, he would just say no, like we're not cutting anything, we're not changing anything, like we'll hang in there and hold out for a deal.
There's a quote from George, like kind of
Hey.
2014, 15 era, something like that. I remember he was in an article and he says something about sticking to your gun. You got to stick to your guns. In filmmaking, don't let the bad guys get you down or something like that.
Yeah,
I know the way he
yeah.
said, I'm butchering it terribly, but the way he said it, I love that too. His whole, mentality about, that was him in his most pure form, right? In terms of his independence.
There you
Yeah,
go,
he
the
was,
Muppet movie and Dawn of the Dead in the same.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same mention.
And you can see how much weight George has put back on at this point too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But again,
shot
shout
this
out
later.
shout out to Richard Rubenstein, because how many producers would stick by their guy of just saying, maybe it's a good idea to take this deal so we can, make this money back and whatnot. A lot of producers would just cave and say, George, we got to take a deal, and Richard stood by him all the way until they got the right deal.
Yeah.
If only they could have kept this whole team could have stayed together throughout the 80s and 90s and
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Well,
a
hey,
fascinating
Night Ri-
story.
I mean, if Night Riders and Day would have been a hit, who knows? Might have.
Well, Matt always talks about, what if they would have done Dawn directly after, or done Day directly after
Day.
Dawn?
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Gornick
much...
talks a lot about that. I thought he said that to me too, actually, when I talked to him. He just, that, they were talking about, the friction disagreements about when they got that 3-picture deal, what to do.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
And Day, I know Mike has said that he was one of the proponents of doing Day first, and I know George was against it, which you can understand why he would have been. It's holding out to make sure we can make the movies, his passion,
Exactly,
Knight Riders.
yeah.
Right.
Because I can understand that'd be the phobia, be worried about, like, if you give them what they want too soon, that
Yeah, exactly.
maybe the carpet will be pulled out from under you. Who knows? But I love the way this credit sequence was cut too. The way they did this.
Yeah.
The score to it. Yeah.
It's just something
great.
about it.
Shame Rory wasn't there for Martin. I bet some great footage.
Yeah, and that definitely.
Here comes the money shot. Oh.
All over chest, neck, and face.
That was Tom's.
What do you got,
That was wasn't that the way that he told that story? How he sort
Yeah.
of. That's how he got the job, basically,
he got
right? Because he went in
Yeah.
and just slit his wrist.
And in my opinion, it's the only good effect in Martin. And I love Martin, but
You're not a steak. You're not a fan of the steak, huh?
The steak is too
No.
low.
The stomach.
Steak is too
in the
low.
stomach all the way down, and then it's like,
Yeah.
and even Savini's like, they should have cut it, before he went all the way with it.
Man, I would love to get into that house and just see those rooms
yeah.
and stuff. Man, that would just be.
Yeah, I mean, go drive by.
I've been by there. I'm still kicking myself.
If you want to take
for,
a chance,
I'm still kicking myself for not having shot, stuff of Braddock like I did for that little video I put together. I just wasn't planning on it being a thing. I was just having fun, you know. But I should have gone back up there.
I'm glad you did that though, because that's all.
Yeah. But Braddock
funny,
could be its
two
own thing.
of my favorite things that I've seen on YouTube in the past year were made by two of the people on this channel. The fucking Spirit of a Place doc and that Monroeville.
Oh yeah, Matt.
Living Dead Weekend.
That was
thing,
absolutely incredible piece that you put together.
Oh, thank you.
It was beautiful.
I didn't know if you'd seen it or not.
No,
yeah,
I
thank
did.
you for the
yeah.
feedback. Yeah,
That's why it's
awesome.
just so. No, it's beautiful, man. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no kidding.
I haven't
Well,
quite
that's
heard
what it was.
anybody able to communicate so many things that I don't know, that we all feel in such a. It was very thoughtfully put together. So
yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for the feedback, and that's what it was made for. It was made for you guys and everyone that the mall has touched. So
yeah. The owners of the mall need to see that. Well, the owners, whoever, media, corporate.
I don't think they give a shit.
Yeah,
a little too late.
Larry brought that up at one point. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to show this to all the Walmart people and all." And I was like, "Yeah, you can, but I don't think it's going to matter at this point, dude." As much as I appreciate it,
nerds.
Yeah, fucking nerds.
The zombies are still dumb.
Oh, I know. I loved remember how they bridged that from Two to Lies. Yeah.
The zombies may be a little smarter, but I'm getting dumber by the day. There it is, folks.
There it
Document
is.
of the Dead. The original Document of the Dead.
The OG.
Beautiful.
All right.
Yes, great stuff.
Steven says, I look at Rubenstein like Colonel Tom Parker. He really served a purpose at one point and really did good for their clients, but in the end stayed too long and hurt them long term. That's interesting. I don't know if Rubenstein really hurt George long term. They really just grew apart what they wanted. Rubenstein really became more of like the office guy. Like I know they talked about like he really wasn't on set for Day very much at all. He and Rubenstein wanted to go more into like television and work with other directors and do other things. And George, of course, being one of the vice president or president of Laurel, or whatever he was at the time, wasn't interested in anything. He just wanted to make movies. So it was pretty an amicable split for the most part. But I think there was a little bit of sourness because over the Pet Sematary thing. When Rubenstein went a different direction with other than George, and I think that kind of lingered a little bit. But it's interesting though, because outside, one of the most interesting like commentaries out there is the Martin commentary, where Rubenstein's on there with George and all that. And it's like one of the only times you really hear them conversing and interacting with one another.
It was interesting to hear that later. That was done, what year that was done, but it was fascinating to hear that all of after that they had so many years after they had split.
Well, they might have had a conversation or two and said,
I'm sure, a lot of water under the bridge at that point, and I'm sure, and Rubenstein has never said anything bad about George or vice versa. And Rubenstein, I think, has always held George and his work in high regard and really respects what they did together and appreciates George. So it never felt adversarial, but it's hard to. Then again, you never really hear too many bad. Like even when Russo and George were at odds for the number of times that they were at odds over different things. Still, they were still friends at the end of the day. Like, you'd see them at conventions together, sitting together, laughing, like.
Wasn't Russo one of the first people you told he was sick?
Yeah, I think so. Because Russo tells a story. They were at a convention together. Russo went and sat down next to George, and he could tell George was looking a little frail and didn't quite look like himself. And George told him, hey, they found something, I'm going to get it checked out. They found something on my lungs, and then that was the last time. I think that was the last time Russo talked to George.
Wow.
Wow. But yeah. Anywho, Steven's saying, right now, Alpha, you can't find Dawn on Blu-ray in the U.S. That's true. I mean, trust me, we've all talked about that and Rubenstein's stinginess with that shit, but. Again, it's a long conversation, but
it is. We've also talked about how that may have worked out to Don's benefit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the same thing with Night of the Living Dead. It's like you talk about it, especially now with like Image 10 trying to, reserve the rights and try to crack down on as much as they can. At the same time, it's like Yeah, but I truly don't think Night would be what it is today if it hadn't been in that public domain territory for all those years, and everybody
Absolutely.
and their mama could play it anywhere at any time, and it became just part of pop culture. All of a sudden, you're getting Night of the
Yeah.
Living Dead references, and look who's talking and shit.
Yeah.
And it's
And
like
it's
just
on-
because it's
Hey, if Good Times Home Video had not put that crappy ass VHS
Exactly.
out that I found
Yeah, no,
in my parents' attic, you know, I wouldn't be the same person.
Yeah, every video store had at least one copy for sale. Every single one.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
I actually,
So-
you know, Night is like, that's the most, I remember, I loved seeing it that way though, as horrible as it looked.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
there was
Yeah.
something about it,
It's
man,
comforting.
It
added
fits. It
something.
fits.
Yeah.
It added to it, the atmosphere of it. Anyway,
Absolutely.
Saying is the blue out of print? Yeah, if you're talking about the Anchor Bay Blu-ray from 2007, yeah, it's out of print now. Pretty hard to find
Yeah.
in the wild. You can find it on eBay 50, 60, 70 bucks,
50
something
bucks.
like that. But yeah.
What about 50?
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for Dawn of the Dead in terms of any kind of releases. I know Synapse came close at one point to doing the
Yeah,
4K, but that kind of fell through.
that would have been
so-
awesome.
Yeah, they
some
would
of
have
their
done it
recent
right.
stuff, and they do such a great job.
Yeah, Don May and those guys over there, like painstakingly, frame by frame, restore those films. Like if you've one of the best 4Ks, and I don't care any year how new or old a movie is, one of the best 4Ks I've ever seen is the Suspiria restoration that they did on
Right.
4K. That thing looks. I lended that to a buddy of mine, and one of a guy I used to work with, younger guy. Hadn't seen Suspiria before, but was into movies and into film, and had always heard about this movie Suspiria. So I lent him my 4K from Synapse, and he came back the next day and was like, "Dude, what year was that made?" Like 77. He's like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, 77." He's like, "Dude, that looked like it was made like maybe 10 years ago. Like there's something
Yeah.
about it. It just looks fucking gorgeous." So I was like, "Yeah, man, it's." Hey, I mean, it's a gorgeous film as it is, but the restoration that Synapse did on it was amazing. But yeah, I just couldn't imagine what they would have done with Don, because Don May has talked about. I've heard in interviews where he's talked about how much he hated the second sight restoration, how he would have done it right. So I'm like, oh, I'm kind of curious to see what he would have done with it now. But yeah.
Well, Gornick was involved in it, so I don't know. How did you guys feel about it? I actually thought I liked it, but
I loved it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
we
never
could
had
have
an issue with it.
I wish we could have got the 3D version though. Like did
So does
theaters.
Rubenstein.
You know, I still
Yeah.
haven't seen that. I still had they did screenings out in California, or there was a screen, I think at the Egyptian or something. I didn't make it to it. I don't know, remember why, but
They actually
I
had
don't know,
one
something
here in
about it.
Arkansas, believe it or not.
Actually had
It
one in
just-
Halifax, so it was only a 3-hour
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah. I
How
drove
was
by
the
Howard
opportunity?
myself, yeah.
It was cool. I mean, it was interesting to see,
okay.
but then again, any opportunity to see Dawn in the theater, I'm gonna see
sure.
it.
Well, 100%.
Yeah.
If I,
That was the
Which
first time
I'm-
I seen Dawn in a theater, was the 3D version.
Same.
And I didn't give a shit
Yeah,
if it was
me too.
3D, 2D, 4D. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I was there, you know.
No kidding.
I was looking at flights to go to New York, thinking it's never going to come to here. I was looking at
Yeah.
Toronto, New York. I was like, which
Same
one?
way
Like, holy
I
shit!
thought.
It's
Yep, same
yeah,
way.
and it was in Halifax. I fell off the chair. I said, Sophie, and she's like, Mom, you're just ridiculous now. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just very excited.
Yeah, I got lucky because it came to the local theater where I grew up in Clarksville, Tennessee, where I saw everything. I used to go to movies all the time. I saw everything in that theater. That's where I saw Land of the Dead on opening night.
That's awesome.
So it was just surreal walking into the theater and seeing the Dawn of the Dead logo up there where you're getting your tickets. And I'm just like, I dreamed of this moment. Like I remember back in the day, like dream, like, oh my God, if only I could see Dawn of the Dead on the big screen, if I could see it in the theater, and then there it was. And yeah, I mean the 3D restoration or the 3D version, it's fun but unnecessary. Like it's kind of like, this is
That's
kind of
exactly
cool.
it.
It's a different way to see the movie, I guess, but it's like
yeah,
I would prefer to just see it on the screen, like as they're doing at Living Dead weekend here in a few weeks, and as they did last October. That was probably one of my favorite theater experiences, screenings ever. So
Thank
can't
God.
wait to do that again. Yeah.
Thank you,
That's what-
Richard, for allowing that to
Yeah.
happen.
That's
We're
the way I
gonna
yeah,
get
felt.
Will awake this time.
That's the
We're
way I
just gonna
felt
stay
last
awake
year.
this time.
That's the way I felt last year when they had Night, Dawn, and Day. They did it just for me. This theater did. They told me that. No, seriously, they said they booked Day of the Dead just for me. I've been to ask them so many times. Quite a few people showed up for it too. They really enjoyed it. So my
That's
lifelong
awesome.
dream say day. That's all night, dawn, and day. So yeah.
I've
Actually,
never seen Night in the theater, but
I actually had a day job at the time. I quit my day job to go see that. So.
Wow.
Seriously.
That's
commitment.
That's why we love you, Ed.
Commitment. Yeah.
Seriously.
I saw Day at when I was at a film festival. I was judging in Pittsburgh, and they showed Day. It was like the opening night, and I was sitting with Mark Tierno, and Angus was behind me, so I had like a running commentary the whole movie, like a private commentary between those
Yeah,
two,
that's
and
cool.
Brenda was there too. Yeah,
Wow.
it was fun. It was a good
That's
time.
pretty awesome. I've never seen Day on the big screen. Actually, that's one that I need to see in the
Oh,
theater
man.
at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
get
saw the,
you see the
the-
you see the details and the makeup a whole lot better too.
yeah. Well, I
sure.
saw the 35 millimeter print in Atlanta when you guys were watching Dawn in the theater at the mall in October.
I remember your pictures. Yeah,
Yeah, but no, it was really rough. I mean, it was great to see it, but it was super grainy, but still, it had that patina. It was really cool to
Yeah.
see. You know, that grain and grit on the screen. I loved it.
Oh yeah,
So,
Perfection.
it's glorious.
Prefer that.
Yeah, I prefer
Um,
that definitely.
Yeah, this is a good point, Assassin. Argento Suspiria could never have been made 10 years ago. Too much color. Yes, we were talking about that earlier, actually, about the way all fucking horror movies look now. Yeah. We need to bring back that Technicolor horror look, man. Robert's saying the second sight release of Dawn is a little too dark for him. I actually have the opposite. Like, to me, it's a little bright. Like, the grass is really
I see
green.
more things. I see more things that I
Yeah.
couldn't see before.
Yeah, the grass is really green, and it's a little bright. But yeah, like I said, I've never had an issue with the second sight restoration. I always thought it looked really good. But then when you hear somebody like Don May, who does this shit for a living, say, we could do it better, and I'm just like,
A touch,
what would you
yeah,
do
maybe a
differently?
touch desaturated. That's a strong word, but the high, yeah, like the vibrancy is really hot in other versions.
Yeah,
I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. Like the grass is really green and like
Yeah.
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
very very colorful. But yeah, Don's a
Yeah.
colorful movie.
it is.
Blake, what's going on, man? Blake Allen says Don 3D unfortunately dropped the ball in sound quality. That is my huge complaint. I agree. Yeah, those original runs of Dawn of the Dead, the sound quality was not the greatest. But then when we saw it at Living Dead Weekend back in October, it sounded amazing. I don't know what version they were using or what they were doing, but it was off the fucking charts. Like that, I was thrilled. Yeah, when I heard it, I was like, "This is awesome." The bullets in the fucking basement when Flyboy's trying to shoot the zombie, you're just hearing it all over the theater, and I was just like, that's what I want to hear in a theater experience.
Show a 35 millimeter print at Living Dead Weekend.
Oh, I
That'd be
wish.
cool.
Can you
I
imagine?
wish.
My goodness.
No. You can get a call from Richard.
Who's
don't-
gonna know? Who's gonna know?
I don't think so. But yeah, it's Document of the Dead, guys. This has been fun. We're on the road to Living Dead Weekend, just a few short weeks away. And we're doing another fan commentary next week, and we'll be doing Zombie, Dawn of the Dead, the Argento cut. I figure we'll do the Argento cut for a fan commentary since they're playing the actual U.S. theatrical cut at the actual show. So we'll take a look at the other side of the coin, the Argento side of the coin next week, and that'll be a fun one. It'll be a fun conversation for sure. But Ed, you got anything coming up on your channel, man? You want to promote? You working on anything? I know you're always dropping this and that all over the map. You got music stuff, movie stuff, commentaries. I'm looking more commentaries.
I'm going to do some more. Excuse me. I'm really happy with a documentary I did a couple months ago. I'm still living on a high from it because it was so great, and I got such great responses. It's on Black Sabbath, the Humanizer album. I said I got some great responses from it. I'm still kind of got that. Eric probably knows what I'm talking about. When it's just so good, you just get that feeling inside your chest. You don't want to work on nothing else because you don't want to come off that high.
You don't want to fuck it up where everybody starts hating you.
As far as documentaries, I'm going to not for a while. Let's say Black Sabbath, Dehumanizer, their 1991 album with Ronnie James Dio. Check it out. I got some VHS tapes I got in the mail, tape traders, went through all those. Got some horror movie stuff coming up. Just like you said, all over the place.
Very cool. At Ed Schrader Music and Entertainment. Dude's got everything. He's got a fucking archive of stuff. Like I'll mention something on the channel sometimes. It's like I remember seeing this on TV back in 1999, and then I'll get a message on Facebook like, "Here, I have this actually," and it's like something that he literally recorded off TV that he just.
I'm still trying to find the IFC version of Dawn of the Dead. I'm still trying to find that.
That's what I got to see, man, with the John Lydon introduction.
I'm trying.
It's all about shopping and zombies and American consumerism. Or something like that.
I messaged collectors in Germany, every country I can think of, trying to find one. It's somewhere. I'm going to find it, I swear.
I have to see it, or I'm going to think I'm just having a fucking fever dream or something. I'm just remembering something that doesn't exist, which that's kind of like the roads that pulls apart. Yeah. I'm just like, I remember seeing that. I swear to God, I remember seeing that.
I remember watching the Cinemax, like they did this. Remember in the late 90s? I think Larry has it on his channel. I remember seeing like Cinemax did this. They were interviewing George in the cemetery.
Yes.
Night, and they were showing. I think it was like Martin and Dawn, and I don't remember like all the films they showed.
Creepshow, I think.
Creepshow was in there. Yeah.
So.
Yep.
They were kind of promoting Dawn 90. They were promoting Night 90, I believe.
Yeah. It might be.
No, this was like 99, 98, 99.
Okay, so this is later then.
I was like,
well, which was the one where he had to introduce Return of the Living Dead, and you could just see he was just kind of like, this fucking movie. Yeah, this is a spoof of my movies, but you know.
Oh, I never saw that, but yeah, that had to have been like,
talk about sarcasm, jeez.
Yeah. Anyway, here's the Return of the Living Dead. It's kind of a spoof on my movies, but you know, here it is. You know, enjoy. But Matt, what do you got coming up, man? You got anything? You can be doing anything before Living Dead Weekend, or are you bringing your drone to Living Dead Weekend?
Yeah,
I actually had somebody ask me that the other day.
Oh, did they? Who asked you?
One of the Revival House guys was asked because they're bringing some camera equipment. They're going to be filming some stuff while they're there, and they were like, "Is your buddy Matt bringing his drone?" Because if he is, I'd like to see if we can get some shots of like, you know, the roof and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm sure he's gonna bring it. You know, I mean,
yeah, fuck yeah,
that drone is good luck. That drone got us on top of the roof of 2474 Pitt Boulevard. So, or not, maybe not, but you know, maybe not that drone, but the drone that you know, that
I can't afford to crash another one, dude. Like maybe you know what? Maybe I'll crash it on the roof of the mall this time. That way we can get there. So
yeah, crash it. So
we need all my friends to come help us. Yeah, my friends have to help me.
Dude, that's how we got on top of 247. I crashed it on the roof, and they led me up there to get it, and I brought my buddies with me. So, for moral support, yeah, that's what they were there for. I've got a couple of things in the pipe that I'm thinking about. I'm scripting out sort of a video essay about Martin. While I'm up there, I want to film some footage around Braddock and kind of like what I did with the mall thing, but solely based on Martin, and sort of the psychology behind his character, going into the religious fanaticism and the loneliness and sort of that atmosphere that was created around Martin that may have fostered the way that he became. So something I'm kind of thinking about, some things I'm sort of scripting out. But also I want to throw this out there, and, we can talk about it more next week and at the round table and stuff like that, the closer we get to the mall. I'm bringing my little Osmo Pocket 3 with me to the mall. I'm thinking about getting like a little mic, and I know we kind of discussed this a couple of weeks ago, but sort of like what I did with the mall. If anybody else at any time, if you see me, if you have some things to get off your chest or anything you want to talk about, any feelings you have about the mall, I will be there. If you want to talk, like we can set up like camp in a little spot or something, and I'll film you. And that way you can, kind of like a little testimonial thing. And if there's anything that you want to discuss or talk about, or if you have any memories of the mall or, any feelings that you have about it, I would love to record that and document that for you and put something together for fans. I think it would be a lot of fun. It's something that I would really enjoy doing. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll be there. I'll have my camera with me, and just let me know. We'll set up shop, and the floor will be yours. So, that's pretty much all I got coming up soon.
Hell yeah, man. That is a great idea. I'm glad you're doing that. I remember you mentioning that, and I was
do it now.
Yeah, right. There's no better time than now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's awesome.
Eric, what about you, man? You got anything you want to promote? You got coming up that you're working on?
Promote. I'm getting ready to roll. I've got so many things happening, but independently, I'm like I was saying at the top of the show. I have a narrative piece I just shot recently that I'm going to be rolling out a whole new sort of channel. But we're going to go to the festival route with it first. But I'm going to be doing some smaller projects and releasing some stuff that isn't going to take me so many years like these other documentary projects that I worked on take a long time. So it's been fun to be chewing on some narrative stuff in the meantime. But I've got another, I think I was telling you last time, another doc series that I'm sort of in development on right now. And I'm just kind of, the ball is in the court of certain streaming platforms. So we're sort of waiting to get the green light on a couple of things as this industry is so lovely sometimes when that happens. But sort of waiting. While I'm waiting on that, I'm kind of working. I've been writing, just writing so much since I moved back east 2 years ago, and just have been making some of these scripts happen. So yeah, I'm getting ready to roll out some new stuff actually here pretty soon. Hopefully, I'm hoping to do it before. It has nothing to do with Romero in terms of, but I'd love to be shooting at. I plan on. I'm definitely going to bring my stuff to Living Dead Weekend. I was gonna say,
you gotta bring a camera. You didn't get anything in Braddock last time. We're gonna take you downtown Braddock in the middle of the night. We're gonna drop you off, and we're gonna come back and see what you got. All right?
Yeah.
We'll read about you in the news.
Oh my God! Yeah, that would be a bad idea. Actually, that would be amazing.
Don't forget to leave him with the sandwich.
Yeah. But I don't know. I have a whole bunch of. We'll have to. Yeah. Ask me in a few weeks or in a month or something, and I could talk more about it. But I'll have links and stuff ready to roll out. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm like literally before I got on with you guys, I've been like literally editing all day long. So it's been a long day.
Hey, gotta get the job done.
Got to do it.
It's important. Steven saying, great show once again, Alpha. Good night, one and all. Michelle, you once again were awe-inspiring on the panel, and you looked amazing as always. There you go, Steven. Keep shooting them shots, sir.
I love it. You better, if you're at Living Dead Weekend, you gotta come up. We need to take a picture of I gotta be with my number one fan.
Oh yeah, I saw as soon as that comment came up, I saw you glare over and you started getting all little. You started shining a little bit.
I did.
Make sure you charge him $20 first.
I'll say $20, but I'll say $25 with tax.
$20.
I'll do.
If you want it personalized, it's an
Eugene
extra
Clark.
10.
Yeah, Eugene Clark upcharge.
Yeah, plus tax. Michelle, you got anything you want to promote?
I will actually promote the Pittsburgh Moving Picture Festival Thriller Picture Show in October. The submissions are open now. I almost don't want to. I don't want to promote it because then I have to watch it. But it's. I already have 87 more submissions. I looked right now. I'm like, I've got 86 more to go. There's 97 submissions at the moment. I've got 86 to go through.
God,
wow!
I just finished another one though. That's at the end of this month. So I just finished all of those submissions. So yeah, not that long. Yeah, last week.
Look at you. That sounded halfway professional, Michelle. Usually I ask you if you got anything to promote. You're like, no, I just got to go back to work tomorrow. And it's like,
I do have to go back to work tomorrow, but yeah, or at least I'm on call tomorrow. But yes, cool. But see, I finally remembered I had something,
There you go. See, there we go. That's what I'm looking for.
And it was Pittsburgh related. So there you go.
Perfect. Yes. And the day 4K 1 month away as well. So I've got that to look forward to too. I'm excited to dig into that.
It's coming out like right after this.
Yeah.
Right after. Which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bonnie, thank you. Appreciate that. Always good to see you, Bonnie. Larry saying Eric's solo version of the Warriors. He has to make it through Braddock to Monroeville. There you go.
You're coming with me, right?
I don't. Yeah, Larry.
You got to be shirtless with a little vest. I'm just saying, a leather vest. Yeah.
Unless Tony's there to escort you, nobody will fuck with Tony. Tony's like the godfather of Braddock. It's like nobody's gonna fuck with you if you're with Tony.
That's true.
Yeah, so they all bowed down to him as he.
That is one thing I would say. I've told Larry this in the past, but I would love to his tour. Like I would love to bring a gimbal and a cinema camera and like shoot it beautifully and like let him.
Yeah.
You can talk for 5 hours. Just let me follow you around the entire thing. You know,
Yeah.
somebody should do that. We should all do it together or something. But it should be done.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, before the mall's gone, yeah, Larry ain't scared. Larry'll do it.
Yes.
But yeah, before the mall's gone, I think something like that needs to happen.
Yeah,
with
it
Larry
does.
for sure.
Even if it
Because of all
isn't
the
during-
work and the work and time and effort that he's put into
It needs to be preserved.
it
That's
does definitely,
exactly right.
Yeah.
for sure.
Andy did a pretty good job this last June, sort of filming some of that. But it'd be cool to see like a professional version of that.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, even if I know it's such a great tour for when you're there with a group of people, but like if we could do it sometime after the convention and have just a clean slate and be able to walk through it and just get all those details and not I don't know, it'd be
where the camera is the audience, whereas
That's
Larry's trying to project to 50 or however many people that he's trying to project to during the tours.
I've thought about that. I think I mentioned it to him back in October or something. But yeah, that would be.
Yeah, I think it's a great
when
idea.
Synapse puts it out on 4K, they could include that in there.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I would do it,
Perfect.
guys. I would do that completely for free. It's like I'll bring out all the bells and whistles.
Well, don't say that because then somebody's going to hear that. It's like, well, we were going to pay you, but fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
Your phone's
No,
going to start ringing
I just want
tomorrow.
to be there. I just would love to have that. Meaning, I don't care. I don't need to be licensed. You can just have it. If it's part of their set, it would be amazing. You know what I mean?
yeah, that would be worth it. That'd be worth it for me. Jeff, always a pleasure, my man. Look forward to meeting you here in a few weeks. I can't wait to meet Jeff and hear some of his stories because this dude has met and done so much shit. Like, I just want to have a few beers. I want to hear some stories, Jeff. So I'm looking forward to that. But all right, we're gonna get out of here, guys. Thanks again, Documenting the Dead Rules. It was a blast watching it with you guys, talking about it, and I'll see you guys here shortly. And but until next time, everybody, make sure you're liking the video and all that fun jazz. Subscribe if you're watching for the first time. I got to make sure I say that, or I just feel so unprofessional and lame. So.
Oh, you're so nice, Larry. Thank you I just saw what you said there. He said I'd choose you to do it. You're so very kind. Thank you.
There you
But
go.
let's all of us do it. You know what I mean? It should be a group effort.
Yeah, I'll pull cable. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah,
you
you'll cable. That'll be a lot
Hold
of
the
cable.
boom.
I'll be the boom
Hold the
guy.
boom.
Yeah, whatever.
Boom
I'll
to the
do it,
shot.
Let's do it on 30. Let's do it on 16. Actually, let's do it on 16.
Hell yeah.
We'll do it the Frumkes way.
There we go.
That'd be awesome.
There you go.
That'd be awesome.
That would be actually amazing. But
well, yeah, let's make it happen. But until then, I'll be back next week. Zombie, Dawn of the Dead, the Argento cut, fan commentary, and look forward to doing that. But until then, everybody, stay safe, stay prepared, but always stay scared.